Hello, and welcome to Hazardous Opinions. I'm Eric, there's Andy, and we're talking about High on Life.
Indeed. This is the newest game by Squanch Games. This is one of two games they've created. They made Trover Saves the Universe a couple of years ago, and now this one just dropped mid-December last year, 2022.
Yeah, I never played Trover. Was it Trover Saves the World?
Trover Saves the Universe? Yeah, something like that. It's, I don't know, I didn't see really good reviews about it. It looked okay.
Yeah, I know it came out on PlayStation VR. But yeah, I never got around to playing it, but I mean it looked cool. I actually played that Rick and Morty VR game that was on PlayStation VR back when I had a PlayStation VR a long time ago before I got the Oculus and then made it obsolete.
Yeah, how was that? Are you just running around as a Rick and Morty character?
It was pretty cool. Like, I mean, you don't play as a Rick and Morty character, you play as yourself, and then Rick and Morty are in there, and they're basically talking shit about you the whole time because some of the things they have you do in that game are actually pretty difficult to do in VR. And so they're just talking shit while you're just trying to struggle to lift this thing and put it in certain thing. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Goes in the square hole.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't play the whole thing, but from what I played, it was pretty fun. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, kind of a pre-warning to the video or to the podcast episode here. We're both Rick and Morty fans. We're both big fans of this game as well, and all of Justin Roiland's work. Given that this month the charges were kind of more publicly announced regarding Justin Roiland, probably going to be more, I guess, sensitive to the issue as we talk through this. Through this game, it definitely doesn't discount anything that the game does good or bad because it's not like he made the whole game himself. Yeah, so just kind of a forewarning that stuff is out there, and we're going to be neutral to everything.
Yeah, and we're also gonna separate the fact that he helped make the game, even though he's like CEO of Squanch Games. So I mean, I guess he was leading the charge in a way, but he was also one of many that made the game. We're not going to discredit anybody who helped make the game, even though he voiced a lot of the people in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's still a funny game. We're just gonna critique the work. I mean, we're not gonna critique the man, even though the content that he made was pretty funny. I don't think that should take away from our review of this.
Yeah, and as of our recording date here, late January, no charges are final. There's not been a trial yet, so just gonna proceed as those facts are, and yeah, not take away from all the hard work that the rest of Squanch Games put into this.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, we're going to get started. You want to get started with the generals?
Yeah, so yep, this game came out on December 13th, straight to Game Pass. I believe it's an Xbox exclusive. Might be on PC Game Pass as well, but this time I did look into it, and it is an Xbox exclusive. So sadly, PlayStation fans, you will probably not get your chance to play this. But if you do have a PC, I'd recommend trying to check into it because it's a really good game.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's more like Doom like. It's a first person shooter game where all the guns talk, which is something I would have never expected a game to come out with. So I mean, it's kind of a fresh take on a first person shooter, and they do it really well. The guns throw out like little clips here and there as you're playing the
Yep.
game, and it always adds to it. I for one kept the. I think it automatically in the settings it was set for frequent. You can
Yeah. Yep.
also adjust this, and I kept it frequent. And it also like the guns don't talk too often, maybe I wasn't paying as much attention to what they were saying, but every time they talked, it was always something funny. Not always. Sometimes it was kind of generic, one-liners, but uh, yeah, I kept it as frequent, and I enjoyed it that way. I don't know what you had.
Yeah, there's a couple repeated dialogues from certain guns that throughout this game that do get a little annoying. But I think the large majority I didn't mind it too much. I kept it as frequent throughout the whole game because I didn't want to miss out on any of those cool, unique dialogues from the guns that I did enjoy. It's really not as often as you'd think. It's honestly it blends into the background of the game more than you even realize as you're
Yeah,
playing.
it's like it seems like it was one of those things where it's basically one of those quips. Like, uh, you never played Spider-Man, right?
The new one on PlayStation, I have
Yeah.
not.
Okay. Well, I mean, it felt kind of like Spider-Man because when you're, Spider-Man is always throwing out one-liners all the time, always
Yeah,
fighting people. It felt kind of like that. It added to it, but it didn't. It wasn't like annoying. It was just here and there. It was quick, short, and yeah, it was fun.
yeah, or it's like you're like playing Saints Row or GTA, where your character's just yelling random nonsense sometimes.
Yeah, and it's not something. At least to me, it never really seemed anything annoying. I mean, but if it did get annoying to you, there is an option to set it all the way to silent if you never wanted them to talk.
But you'll be missing out.
You would.
The guns in this game, what are they called? Gatlians? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very tied into the story overall. This game has a very meh story, but I don't think it's not the purpose intentionally.
No.
But the Gatlians definitely have a large part of what story there is.
Yeah, they definitely have a large part in it. So there's like a cartel that is invading the universe and turning people or aliens into drugs. Uh, thus the name High on Life. And
Yes.
you are human that where the G3 cartel recently invaded planet Earth, and you are set out to destroy the G3 and the leader of the G3 and save the world, save your home planet Earth as a
Yep.
human. That like I say that a lot because like that's you are the only human throughout this game other than you and your sister. So like, this is like you were one in a million.
Yeah, the only voiced human. You can find like those ones, like the crates. Um,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
which
yeah.
is another thing. There's no purpose for saving those humans at all.
Yeah. Just another tick for the achievement. Or
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, honestly, I think they are just a tick for the achievements because, like, I don't think there was any other gameplay element to saving them other than that.
yeah. I didn't notice any end game changes. I saved a lot of them. Never like I even went to the human haven at one point. I didn't see the amount that I saved. I don't know. It didn't seem like there's a much of a point to those.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I saw a short video online saying what happens if you save all the humans, and apparently Rick from Rick and Morty actually shows up in the human haven and talks to you for a bit. I don't exactly remember what he said or did, but
Oh,
yeah, cool little
didn't
Easter
save them
egg.
all.
Yeah, the difficulty isn't that difficult on normal difficulty. I didn't know what to expect when I first played this, so I just kept that at normal, and it didn't seem to be that difficult. I think throughout 3 quarters of the game, getting towards the end, I actually started dying quite a bit, but uh, it definitely could have been worse. Like the amount that I died didn't really deter me from like actually changing the difficulty. So uh
Yeah,
yeah.
I honestly I just left it at story mode. I was gonna see how easy it was, and if it was too easy, I was gonna bump it up. and then I just really enjoyed mowing through aliens. So I just never changed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really fun. It's like if you want a challenge, then normal difficulty. I never played the hardest difficulty. I'm assuming it's just called hard or something, but I don't remember. But yeah, if you play at normal difficulty, you will get a fair challenge, especially if you are a fan of the Doom series like I am. The combat is really arena like. So every time you get into an area with the G3, there is like platforms and stuff you could jump onto. There's power ups and stuff. It's a good time.
Yeah, this game, as you progress, just like Doom, is increasingly mobile. You get your different guns that can do your different abilities, and then you get a jetpack. You get a a grapple hook, um, and there's just so many abilities, and you start flying across the map, killing people as you're getting in the late game. It's pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it progressively gets faster and it's honestly satisfying. Like the point that you're at from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, like you built up this arsenal, you built up all this momentum and movement speeds and stuff. It actually it preps you for the time to come. It doesn't. I never really noticed any real difficulty spikes except. I think it was the second to last boss. I think it was those three guys that jump onto each other.
Oh, for me, they were not my
Brotron.
second to last. Yeah, Brotron.
Yeah. Yeah, they were a bit difficult for me.
I think I had more trouble even finding the arena than I had with the boss there. But they definitely brought out the most tricks to their
Yeah.
boss battle.
Yeah, I mean, what I've figured out is like as long as you stay in the air, you're pretty much okay. But there's also like those pillars that come out, so it's a lot of like moving around and dodging stuff until you have the opportunity to attack. It's one of those boss battles. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But um,
Yep.
yeah, it's honestly there's some that are harder than others. Some of them are more interesting than others, but the difficulty kind of stays the same or increases throughout the game, and you're equipped for it. So it felt pretty nice.
Yeah, I being that this is a game based around comedy, there's obviously a lot of humor in it, but I don't think I was expecting the amount of humor, I guess. Like I've played games like Deadpool on
Oh yeah,
the 360. So I've played comedy games before, but this is just like everything in the game is a joke or a meta reference, and a lot of them really nail it. There's some there just the stale Rick and Morty humor that sometimes can get on your nerves, but there's a lot of really good original jokes throughout this as well. I I think I was laughing through most of the game.
yeah. It's really funny. Like you said, it's just like one long comedy sketch. But it's not too long. It's not like a really long game. I think I got through it around 6 or 8 hours. Um,
Yeah, I think if you're just playing main mission content, it's probably about 6, 7. I did a lot of side stuff, so it probably add me to maybe 11, 12.
yeah, but even then, like there's a bunch of other side stuff that could, um, catch your attention and actually hold your attention for a long time. Like those, like the atmospheric details, like the TVs that you could find around the city.
Yeah.
They actually have like episode length shows on there, and you could just sit there and watch them if you wanted to, and it's great because I think the first show I ever stopped to see what was on the TV was the sock show. Where it's just like sock puppets, but they're having this argument. I guess there's like three of them. The girl is like cheating on the guy with his friend or something, and then he like stops and he's like, have sex with them. And then they actually start like having sex as like sock puppets on the TV, and it was just like completely absurd. But yeah, it was stuff like that. There was like a movie length movie on the TV in the living room.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
What was her name? It was a female's name and the T-Rex. Uh, it it's a full length feature film. There's I think one or two other ones in here, and it's just insane how much they packed in.
Yeah. And like, I mean, to me, it doesn't really seem like that would be that hard to do, to just put in the game, just like start playing a movie in the game. I don't
Yeah,
know if they had to do anything special for like getting the rights for these movies or whatever, but I really
uh,
enjoyed it because like you just stop and watch TV in a game. I just think that's crazy. I
I
mean, you
doubt
could
it.
do that in like Grand Theft Auto and stuff, but yeah, I didn't never expected to see it anywhere else.
Is Tammy and the T-Rex from 1994. It's got
Tammy
like
and the
a
T Rex.
5.3 on IMDb. It's actually got some stars I know in it. It's got Denise Richards. She's the hottest person in Starship Troopers. And it has Paul Walker in it as well.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
young Paul
interesting.
Walker is a very interesting movie.
I never watched the whole thing, so what'd you think of it? And we do a movie review now?
I seen bits and pieces of it because I'd sit in the living room. It's like when you're walking into your parents' living room or something, and they're watching something, and I'll watch like 10 minutes of it, and I'll go through a portal and do another bounty, and I'll come back and he's still watching.
Yeah.
So I watch a little more.
So you actually like, for you, it would be at a different part every time you came in.
Yeah. Sometimes it would like reset to the start, but a lot of times it felt like it was continuing. I guess I didn't watch it enough to know if it was sequential,
Okay.
but I just seen a lot of really bad dinosaur effects and shit.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I honestly didn't see any dinosaurs in that. So every time I stopped to watch it, it always restarted at that beginning part with the cops rolling up to the crime scene.
Oh,
And
yep.
yeah, I would sit there and watch the same part. I watched it like 3 times. I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna do this because like I'm never gonna get through all this. And then I kind of stopped trying to watch it after that. So I don't. I actually don't know how it ends.
Huh. It looks like Paul Walker dies and turns into the dinosaur.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um, so I think we should do a movie review on that sometime. That looks fucking
Yeah,
insane.
maybe. He
Looks like just one of
turns into
those
the monitor. Oh my god.
crap April Fool's things you could do.
It reminds me of that one movie I saw, uh, Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. I know I mentioned it
Yeah.
before in our other pod or other episode. But yeah, that one was very bad and very insane.
Holy
Anyways,
shit. Denise Richards got facial reconstruction or something.
oh, you didn't know that?
Did you?
You have you seen the late Denise Richards?
She
It
does not look
is
like
horrifying.
when she was young. That sucks.
No, she's trying to keep her youth, but it's also fucking turning into a robot. I'm not going to talk too much about Denise Richards, but
Yeah.
yeah, still looks
Okay.
good for her age. But yeah,
Yes, getting too off track here. So
yeah,
the art style in this game is just very simple. It's Rick and Morty type. It's more in detail than that, but it's still very simple, bright color palette, easy to look at, not like insane detail in anything, pretty smooth textures.
yeah,
But if you look around the environments as you play through the game, there's just mini jokes and references everywhere, down to like the slightest like details on things. Yeah, but I think a lot of the voice lines are probably where you'll pick up the most jokes throughout the game.
yeah. That's definitely where the comedy's at. But yeah, there's long form media on the TVs. But I mean, one thing that did kind of piss me off is like you ever play through a level, maybe it's like a parkour type part of the level, and you fall. How long were the loading screens for you?
In this game,
Yeah.
I think I spawned pretty quick. I played this on the Series X. One thing I did know throughout the game is that when I came back from the main menu to restart my game, it was about a 50-50 chance if it would just be stuck in a loading screen and I had to restart, or if it actually load the game.
Oh, yeah. So that's a pretty annoying bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this isn't for the game itself. It's probably for my current or last gen ass playing this on. I had a pretty long loading screens. I
Hmm.
remember sometimes when when I keep falling on a certain part of the level, I would put my controller down and go on my phone for a little bit before I actually loaded back in. So pretty
That's
long
bad.
loading screens for dying. Yeah, it kind of sucked. But one of my few peeves about this game is the loading screens after dying. Because
Yep.
I guess I'm used to playing modern games where if I die real quick, I can just respawn in probably like 5 seconds, and it's not that bad. But um, yeah, the loading screens were pretty long.
Yeah, it's not like this is an intensive game or anything. Not anything
At
huge
least it
going
didn't
on.
seem
Probably
like
shouldn't
it.
be like that.
Yeah, maybe it was built more for next gen, which it seems more and more games these days are. So I either need to switch to PC or get a new Xbox. But yeah, it's what it seems to be like that. Where you're kind of having you're like rolling the dice every time you get a new game because you don't know if it's going to work right on your console.
Yeah, the this game has a lot of love for Fallout. You can tell that some of the writers and people involved with this game are big fans of Fallout. There's a lot of, I guess, I don't know if you call them homages. They're pretty blatant a lot of times. Sometimes even straight up calling out Fallout. Um, like they have a dialogue tree that's similar to some of the early Fallout's, and you're a silent protagonist throughout this game, except your guns will talk for you a lot.
Yeah. Yep. Well, actually, even like until you get Kenny. Well, actually, when you get Kenny, that's when it first starts. They start talking for you. They like talk for you because you choose the dialogue option, right? But they'll still talk for you.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little weird, and sometimes they call it out, but other times they just act like it's normal. Um,
Yeah.
but just one of those weird things. But yeah, it's just a simple dialogue tree and doesn't affect anything other than just hearing cool dialogue. The inventory in this game is very sleek, very like easy to navigate. I really like the inventory. I
Yeah.
for some reason thought that there'd be like a cap on items or something, but there's not. You can pick up as many mods as you want, as many what do you call them, like upgrades for your weapons. There's no real inventory cap.
Yeah. And that's
The
okay
mod
though.
system is a little weird, but um, it's all right. It does its job, I guess.
Yeah. And with the inventory, when you pick up mods, I mean, mods are pretty much the only thing that you would hold in your inventory, other than was it the Gatorol, which basically drugs for your guns that make them uh, recycle their was it
Superpower.
their whole their was it
Oh yeah,
their
God, it was some gross term, something hole. Yeah,
trick hole. Yeah, that's what it
trick
is.
hole.
And
I didn't
it
like
lets
that,
them refill their trick hole so you can
especially
actually
when
use it
Gus would
again.
say it. I was like, please stop talking.
I don't want to sound
He's like,
weird,
use
but I
my
really
trick
want you
hole,
to use
dude.
my crick hole. Trick hole. Yeah, it's such a weird term, but yeah, they also are very aware of themselves throughout the game.
Yeah, the upgrade system's nice too. You just mostly gain more health, more shields, more jetpack power. But with that, a lot of that revolves around Mr. Keep's pawn shop that you get introduced to pretty early. This pawn shop is amazing and just packed full of jokes. And I
Yeah,
really liked going back there just to talk to the kid and like
yeah,
look at everything in the store.
yeah. And the kid is always texting you too. I guess I'm gonna call it texting because it's the only thing I could. Whatever it's called in this game, I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
he sends you little texts. At first, he's really aggressive, but then he starts apologizing for himself, and then saying it's not his fault. He's just under a lot of stress, and it's like, oh, okay. And then he actually
I
gets to
really,
be pretty nice towards the end.
I really should be telling you not to climb on the counters, but I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole, but it's funny though. Plenty of collecting collectibles. What your favorite
Yeah.
thing to do in a game is collecting collectibles, and there's plenty of that in this game. So
Trading cards, the warp drive crystals, and they
yep,
also have those lug boxes, which are just chests that you find.
yep. Uh, uh, they don't seem to be alive at first, but I actually ran into a situation where they were alive and actually slaughtered a whole family just to get
Oh no!
their gubbins, and that was messed up. But it's one of those things that it just makes you aware of what you're doing, and that's what makes it funny. Um, it's like this is just a whole family of Lugloxes. They're alive, and you just killed them. But yeah, it's just plenty of goofy lines and good jokes throughout the whole game. That's basically what it is. You can't really take it too seriously. But yeah, it's and then if you're holding different guns out for certain dialogue options. I guess this is like replayability wise. So if you're holding a certain gun out for whatever dialogue you're going through, they'll sometimes, not always, but they'll sometimes have different dialogue or what they say, like different quips and responses for whatever's going on, which is
Yeah,
also kind of cool. When you equip different mods on them, they change colors and they give you a certain ability on whatever trick hole does usually. And I mean, honestly, using their trick holes is probably the most powerful part of the game. Like you're constantly in combat, you're constantly switching weapons and using their trick holes, shooting them for a little bit and switching to the next one. I honestly never really stuck with one gun throughout the whole game, especially when you get towards the end of it. It kind of forces you to switch guns a lot because there's so many, like, I wouldn't say so many. There's probably like 5 different enemy archetypes, but they all have different weaknesses, and you can exploit those by using certain weapons on them, which is what I find really cool.
yeah. I'd say if you're a Doom player or probably playing the game correctly, you're probably switching through a lot of guns.
Yeah.
Um, or you're like me and you play entirely with Kenny until you find creature, and then you 100% creature so you get let's do it, and then use him till the end of the game.
Honestly, when I first got Creature, I am like, this is the best gun in the game. And then I got Let's
So
Do It, and
good.
I'm like, this is the best gun in the game. Yeah, they're all pretty fun if you use them. I wasn't really a huge fan of what was this? What was
Gus is
that?
too close range. He's the shotgun. And then Squeezy is
Sweezy.
the
Yeah,
needler.
Sweezy. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Sweezy. That was like the needler, and you could more of like a long range weapon, so you can
Yeah,
like turn her into a sniper and like shoot through
yeah,
walls and stuff. It's just pretty cool,
I
but
mean,
I just never found myself using her that much.
yeah. Most of your combat is pretty close range, though,
Yeah,
barring the few snipers in the game. But
yeah, but even then, you could probably take him out with Kenny too if you're accurate enough. But each to their own. I mean, they're available for you to use. You don't really have to use them all. I mean, we
yeah,
just established 2 different play styles: switching all the weapons, or you just using one. It's up to you.
yep, yeah. The main reason, or not reason, but like they each have their own abilities, and those will help you progress the world. Like Gus will shoot this metal disc into a wall, and you can climb on it to get up.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think
yeah, yeah.
Kenny does too much. Squeezy will slow down time in a certain area, and then Creature can send one of his babies through a hole to like unlock a door for you.
I still love that he's, especially when you first get each weapon, they actually like kind of explain to you what they do, and usually that's when they are the funniest. My favorite is when you first get the knife, because
Yes.
he's as soon as you pick him up, he's like, let's fucking do it, and you just fucking stab all of them, and he just like, and then you have to use them every time you kill a boss to get their DNA or whatever for the bounty, and then he gets really really excited every time you
He's
use him
warmed
to
up.
do that, and it's always funny.
There's a very large subtext of sexual
Innuendos,
gratification
yeah,
from using the weapons. Like they're almost like getting off on you using them, and the way the guns are even designed seems like that too. Like you're is it Kenny that looks like you're almost like jacking him off or something to like reload him? Like
yeah.
you like
Yeah, that's
maybe it's
exactly how
Gus.
you
It's one of
reload
the
them. You
two.
just kind of stroke them a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Gus, you actually have your hand like deep inside of him, and like when you see him without your hand in him, it looks like an asshole.
yeah. Or is a creature? Creature's trick hole looks like a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
And it's hilarious. He's like, "Oh, these are my babies. I love them so much. They don't live long though." Uh
They that was definitely a Meeseeks thing. I was like, that came straight from that. They're
oh
even
yeah, they
blue.
look exactly like mini Meeseeks. Yeah, Meeseeks. Is it Meeseeks or Meesinks?
I think it's Meeseeks.
Meeseeks. Okay. All right. Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Definitely took some inspiration from Rick and Morty, but that's okay. We like Rick and
Yep.
Morty anyways.
Yeah. So there's no big songs in this game that I noticed, but there's a lot of really chill like techno beat background music. Just I don't know, just casual stuff for jumping around and shooting.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think any tracks really stood out to me or anything like that. It was just enough.
One track that stood out to me the most is usually when you're in the house, when you're in your house, whatever beat they had going on in there, like I remember I was just vibing with it. It was like, yeah, it's cool.
It's good. Also, the additional warp drives that you find. I know you said you didn't really mess with them. This is what you get to do if you find these like warp crystals. So the main like G3 thing is they like teleport places and like bring a chunk of their world into wherever you are. You can steal the crystals from those, use those to buy warp drives, and it's just like fun extra worlds that you can spawn in. So we'll talk about more of those later too. They're mostly just jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, I haven't messed with a whole lot of warp drives, only the ones that were required via the story. But yeah, from what I've heard, they seem pretty interesting. I'm excited to hear about them.
Indeed, indeed. I think my biggest gripe with this game is the fucking waypoint system. So you get like a little Halo 1 looking mini map in the corner, and you also get like a is it like a it's like a ping system
Yeah, like a radar kind
uh,
of.
to tell you where things are, and it's just the way it worked. Like you had to be looking in the direction of where the ping was to see it. So
Yep.
sometimes you'd click the ping button and you'd have to spin around to find where it's at, and you're like looking all over, and it just wasn't a great waypoint system. And especially with like trying to find the lug loxes using the mini map, it doesn't tell you elevation, so you're just kind of fucking running all over trying to find things. And if you backtrack somewhere and you don't have a waypoint, it's very difficult to find your way out of some of these areas. like to find the door that you're looking for to teleport back.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I actually had an experience where I got lost in the city level, and because I was backtracking and I could not find my way out. I ended
The
up.
city with where the squid was, or which city?
Yes, that one.
Okay, because that's the same one I got stuck in for over half an hour.
Yeah, dude, it was not easy to get out of there because the first time I went through the door that was supposed to lead me out of there, I actually went through it and it was like glitched and I fell to my death. So I'm like, oh, that was just like a locked place I wasn't supposed to go into. No, that was the way to get out. It was just glitched. So I ended up looking for another way to get out that was other than the way I was supposed to go. And I got lost for a very long time. And
Okay.
I got very frustrated with that. I agree with you on that. The waypoints, there's got to be like fast
Better way
travel
to
or
do it.
something to get out of there or something. Because like I was looking every which way to get out of there and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, you're just looking for the small unmarked door, and especially in those big green levels, like the first mine area, I think it is, where you're finding like those teddy bear fuckers. Um,
Yeah.
there was times here where I was getting lost. I'm like, I have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah, it's not fun. Backtracking is not something I really enjoyed in that game. Even though it kind of promoted it to get collectibles, it was not a very intuitive experience. And yeah, 0 out of 10. I
And
want to do it
you,
again.
and you run into that thing where when I was collecting lug loxes after I beat the final boss, they still let you run around the world. You run into just warp bases randomly, and you're just like, okay, let's do it. I have like everything. I'm like, I just don't care. Like, get out of my way. I'm just trying to find boxes.
Right.
I don't know, it's kind of like the dying light issue. Like, you're just like when you're done with the game and you're super powered, you're just like, get the fuck out of my way, zombies. I'm just trying to like go mop up collectibles or something.
True. Yeah. But I mean, each to their own. I kind of enjoyed the whole combat esque part of this game. I was hoping to see more of it after I beat the game. But like you said, you had warp bases pop up, but I never had any warp bases pop up after I beat the game. So I got kind of bored when I was running around looking for collectibles. So it wasn't a great experience for me. But then again, each to their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than the few freezing issues, I don't think I had anything big. I don't think I had a single crash, which was good. Good. I do wish the upgrade mod system was maybe a little more utilized because I think I only found one mod for each gun. Um, there's some small graphical bugs, nothing terrible though. I'm pretty sure they're patched by now. Um,
Yeah.
oh, the other big thing I was annoyed with in this game, when you do find these warp bases as you're going through the game, this kind of like ties into the waypoint system again. Those warp crystals show up on your mini map as the same logo notification thing as the lug loxes. So I'm like
Oh,
running around looking for boxes, and it turns out it's just a warp based crystal. But I think it's like 50-50. These warp based crystals don't let you pull them out, they're just like broken or something. I don't know if it's sensing an enemy nearby that I couldn't find, but a lot of those
yeah.
were just annoying. But
That
it's very
kind of
small
sucks.
stuff.
Yeah, that sucks. And in today's day and age, we should know how to mark separate points of interest from each other.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to know what it is. You're going to assume it's one thing and then it's actually another thing. When there's only two things to actually look for in this game, you might as well have different pings for each one. And that's
For
warp
real.
drives and lug boxes. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're looking into a game and the worst thing in it is the waypoint system, you're probably
Yeah,
doing some things right. Like,
doing pretty
still, I
good
wish
at
they'd
that point.
fix it,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not a terrible thing to be your worst feature.
No, it's definitely a minor gripe, but it still sucks. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't think it's really excusable to like have players, like you're telling players to go look for collectibles, but then they go in there and they end up getting lost for a half hour. That is not a very enjoyable experience, in my opinion. At least if you wanted to, you could have something like mark the nearest warp door. This is like, okay, I'm done. I want to get out of here. Just have me mark it. I know where to go. That's how I know how to get out of here. I don't want to be running around for a half hour trying to find things.
That would have probably solved a lot of my issues with the frustration about it.
Yeah. But, I mean, that is also separate from the play style from certain players anyways. If you're going through this game just to play it and get through the game, you're not going to have these issues. But if you are trying to look for collectibles, that is a issue you're going to run into. Unless your memory is on point, which mine isn't, then you're just going to know where to go. But
yeah, that's a fair point. If you're not a collectibles person or you don't care about 100%ing the game, you're probably not going to run into really any of these issues in the game. You don't need to open lug boxes for anything unless you want to buy upgrades. They give you like money and stuff. But you really, I mean, you find so many in your just daily path, like on your way to bosses, that you really don't need to go off the beaten trail too much.
Yeah, and
there's like 200 something in this game.
Yeah, 200, really?
Yeah, and I think I bought everything from the store like well before that.
Oh wow. Yeah, so there really isn't a need to collect all of them or get all of them anyways. But yeah, if you're not looking for lug boxes, I mean you're gonna find lug boxes on your path anyways. I mean you can't go through this game without hitting a few. That's for sure. But yeah, if you just went through the game, you wouldn't really have a problem with not upgrading anyways, because all the guns that you get are pretty powerful off the bat anyways. If you were going on a harder difficulty, which I haven't played, I'd assume that these things would probably be a little more important than they are. But other than that, I think you would be fine.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything like huge to say about the game. As on a general aspect, before we get into the story it's okay.
Yeah,
it's definitely a humor game rather than any like heart or anything like that.
Yeah, if you're gonna analyze this game as like a story, you'd be thoroughly disappointed because there isn't much there. But if you're going in, if you go into this game with the same mindset as if you were going into a comedy club, you're going in to laugh, and I mean, you'll walk out pretty happy if you're expecting that. So,
for sure. So I think unless you have anything else on the generals here, we might take a short break and then get into the story.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Alrighty, see you soon.
What's that guy yelling about? Illegal stuff? Is he talking to us?
Look at me! I'm the guy who sells stuff. I'm an illegal concessions guy. I like to sell you illegal stuff over here. Here's what's up. My name's Stan, and I sell vials of alien cum. I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear when you walked over here. You wanted cum or what?
Let's do it! Today we have a great special. Get over here, come on.
I'd rather not. I'm gonna go ahead.
No, get over here, sit down, eat the pepperonis. Come on, eat.
I'm done shopping.
My pepperonis. I'm Papo, the pepperoni boy.
Listen,
I know they don't look like pepperonis. They're very bizarre and strange looking, but just eat it. And,
stop.
You just have to eat it.
Leave me be.
Okay, hold on. Before you leave, let me just finish my commercial. I'm Papo. This is my pepperoni place. Eat the pepperonis. Can hear where you're in there now.
Good morning or evening or whatever time zone you're in, and welcome back. So, we're jumping into the story here right away with Buck Thunder 2, Xenoslaughter. We get the title card for the game here, and then we get introduced to our divorce lawyer, who's going to be walking us through our tutorial here.
The divorce attorney's name is Phil, and he really wants you to know that he's your divorce attorney, and you have to learn the basics through this very retro style looking game, which kind of threw me off at first. I guess I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, this kind of threw me off. But it was kind of cool. You get to learn the basic controls throughout this, and yeah, you get some fun little Rick and Morty esque jokes going throughout it. He breaks the fourth wall by telling you how the game is made and stuff. But when you first start out, you learn the basic controls. I think the first thing you learn is like jump, run. I think the main joke he made is
But not double jump.
yeah, you can't double jump. So they put you in this spot where you have to double jump across this gap, and then you try double jumping, it doesn't work. And then Phil gets all freaked out, which I'm pretty sure he was voiced by Justin Roiland. Because it sounded a lot like Rick from Rick and Morty. I'm not exactly sure, but I pretty sure it was him. But
yeah, he goes, "Who the fuck prioritized a crouch feature over a double jump?"
Yeah, scoping, man. Scoping was off. But yeah, you go through all this, you learn the controls. It's pretty straightforward. At this point, you go through all this obstacle course, the basically tutorial obstacle course, until you get to the arena. Then you'll learn how to play the arena mode, which is like the combat and stuff. And then after a while of shooting enemies and stuff, you get pulled out of that into reality, which your sister is trying to get your attention. And
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we go straight into our character creation screen. Well, not straight in. Our sister decides she's going to do a line of coke off her little hand mirror, and then she hands it to us to do a line. But instead, we see ourselves in the mirror, and we get to pick our character. I personally went with a female character. It's not like we're voiced anyways throughout this, so it doesn't matter. You don't see yourself again. But yeah, there wasn't many to choose from. There's like 6 characters. I was like, this girl looks cool. So
Yeah. Like you said, it doesn't matter. I think basically you see your hands for the first level, which is, later on. But like you see your hands, but after that you put a suit on and then you never see your hands again anyways. So it literally makes no difference what your character you pick. It was completely pointless, but it was also kind of, I guess, a type of immersion you could put yourself in. I don't know. I feel like it was a little excuse to make it a custom character. That didn't really matter at all anyways. But
yeah, add some immersion to it, I guess. I
guess you could probably imagine what you'd look like, but that's about it. You never actually would see yourself again. So
yeah, I put myself in that position where I'm like, hey, these guys or these 2 girls have like a sisterly bond and stuff. So that's how I like viewed the relationship throughout the game. But other than like putting your own thoughts into it, there's really no effect to picking your character.
Yeah, I guess my immersion was I was an adopted black child that was put into foster care after my real parents were murdered or something, and then I got adopted into this family, and turned out my dad didn't even love me, so my foster dad didn't even love me.
I was the Asian girl, so I was also adopted.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, so it's whatever you make
or
it.
stepsisters or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, so we get through this just perfect tutorial. It's just completely full of meta jokes and shit. You do that, you get your character, you go downstairs, and I noticed on the fridge, our sister's wanting us to head out. We're going to get dinner or something? I can't recall. And on the fridge, there's the acceptance letter for your sister. And it says, "We are pleased to inform you that you've been accepted into the prestigious College of University Place." Just like
University Place. I didn't even notice that.
little thing. There's a lot of like subtle nods around the house and then dialogue and stuff that your sister's better than you, and you've just been playing video games all your life. So
yeah, it's I thought it was funny when you first go downstairs and she tells you to go see the note, or before that, She tells you that your mom left her in charge because for whatever reason, and then not to hurt your feelings, and then your dad just straight up says, and then dad just said he straight up doesn't love you. I thought that was funny. I laughed.
He's pretty upset you didn't come down to say bye before they left on their trip.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
is sarcastic as hell throughout this
know.
whole game.
Yeah, no, it's great. She's great. Yeah, saying they'll be gone for a bit, saying you should stop playing so much video games because you're wasting your life, as parents do. And then yeah. So I mean, after that, she says she needs help carrying some stuff from the car because she's gonna throw a party tonight because parents are gone.
Yes.
And you go out, and as soon as you go out, there is a big spaceship that crashes across the street. I guess it doesn't crashes. It like warps in, so it destroys half of the two houses behind it, and then there's a spaceship there, and then Gargantuan comes out and his crew, and yeah, you hide behind the car until further notice because you don't know what to do. There's a bunch of aliens, and then it's like, and then an old man with dementia comes up. He's like, Martha, is that you? Goes up to Gargantuan. He's like, is Martha, is that you? And then he gets Gargantuan grabs him and starts smoking him. And then they speak to each other in some other language you can't understand. Yeah. So
yeah. And then they fuck off and teleport away, leaving a huge fucking crater in our world.
Well, before that, there was an alien that was saying something, and then like one of his goons, I think it was Nepulon, was with him. Straight up shoots that guy dead, and so he's laying on the ground, and then they fuck off. And yeah,
yes, and that's where we start to hear like a weird noise or something, or I can't remember if it spoke English to us at that point. Either way,
he didn't understand the language.
It's calling to us. So we go over to the body and we find Kenny, our first Gatlian, on the body of the dead alien there. What do we do? We remove its chip, and then it's able to speak with us. Or no, it spits on us.
No, he spits on us because there's like microbes that helps us understand his language. And then, yeah, and then you start to understand Kenny, who sounds exactly like Morty from Rick and Morty. It's just the same voice. Yeah. So
it's just fucking Morty.
Yeah, it's just Morty.
So I hope you like that voice because you're going to hear it throughout the whole game.
Yeah. Well, if you have him out equipped the whole time, you would. Yeah. But then again, you hear him a lot. He's kind of like the main.
He's the main Gatlian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you pick him up, and then he tells you that there's alien cartel about to turn your entire human race, into drugs. So obviously you got to do something about it. You got to become a hero. So you learn. This is where you start to learn how to shoot and stuff, and use them as a weapon. Yeah. Well, I guess you did learn how to do it before, but now you have. This is the actual game.
Real Gatlian. Yeah, Kenny got pretty pissed at me because I was pausing to make some notes, and he's like, "What the fuck? Did you just press the pause button? In what fucking game is pause button shoot?" And he's swearing at me a little bit at the beginning there.
Yeah, that's funny. If you pause at the beginning, like, that's funny. But yeah, there's a bunch of enemies. There's a big ship that pops up at the end of the street, and then a bunch of aliens. They come out, and these are like the basic grunts. They are kind of weird. I don't know how to explain them. So they have like this goop all over them. And
I think it's just called goop.
Yeah, it's just goop, but they actually turn into like a completely different size and a completely different color if you shoot them enough without killing them.
Yeah, it's like shielding onto their body.
Yeah, but the weird thing is that they're kind of chubby. Yeah, they're kind of chubby without the goop, though. But when you shoot the goop off, they turn into these little skinny gremlin dudes. I don't know.
It's got so much
It's
fucking
pretty
goop on
funny.
them.
Yeah. So the basic ones, they have like they just have a giant eyeball on top of them. So if you shoot the eyeball, it's just insta kill. So these ones are pretty easy to kill.
Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once we get the knife later in the game as well, you get to stab these things out. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
I was kind of a fucking. I was a little bit of a sadist throughout this game. As we'll see, I killed almost everyone. Yeah, so we work into that other warp base at the end of the street and steal their hyperdrive. So we bring it back to our house where our sister was, and she has a baseball bat. There's a dead alien in the room, and she's just covered in blood.
Oh man. It's like I just killed it. I just killed an alien. She's just so confused on what's going on, and very understandable because this is a lot of weird shit happening right now.
Yep, I thought this game was going to take a much different turn because you come back to your house with the hyperdrive, and there's just a blood trail into the house and throughout the living room until you see your sister. I was like, oh shit, she's going to be fucking dead.
Yeah, it was I guess I didn't notice that, but yeah, when I walked in, I saw she beat an alien to death with a baseball bat, but and she was freaking out.
Yep,
I can see how if you saw that would be pretty mortifying.
Yep, I think this is how she also starts to understand Kenny because she gets that alien blood in her. So she got the microbes on her. They just kind of yada it, but. So yeah, we take the hyperdrive and hook it up to our microwave to power it up. And then we can warp our entire house to Blim City. Where Kenny then tells us we should go look for Gene. He was this famous bounty hunter and can help us take down the G3. Yeah.
So, once you teleport your entire house to an alien planet, Kenny's like, yeah, you're on an alien planet. Go look for Gene Zaruthian. He's a famous bounty hunter, and you go out there and you kind of ask around people where he is, and nobody knows.
Did you actually ask people?
I did.
I think he was like one of the first people I walked up to.
Oh, well, there you go. You could either walk up straight up to him, or you could ask around. I had no idea who I was looking for. I didn't know what he looked like or anything. So, yeah, I just kind of walked around and asked people wherever I could. And nobody knew where he was until I actually walked up to him and talked to him himself. Asked about him, and then it's like, oh, you're talking to him. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Found him.
Yeah, I was kind of passing those first few people you can talk to, and then when I got up to Gene, I think Kenny made a comment about him, about that being him.
Oh,
so I chatted with him.
Yeah, that's nice. At least you're not like running around trying to find this person.
Find Gene, who's kind of fallen from his former glory. He no longer has legs, and one of his 3 eyes is no longer working, and he's homeless. He's just living on a park bench with all his crap in a cart. So he's like, yeah, I'll give you my bounty hunter suit and teach you how to be a bounty hunter, but I get your home if you die. So obviously we're going to take that deal.
Yeah, it's like when you're talking to him, he's like, wow, did you see that house there before? That's a really nice house. I was cracking up because like, yeah, that's my house. He's like, tell you what, I'll help you. I'll take down the G3. It seems like at this point he really didn't have any faith in you on actually taking down the G3. So he's if you die, I'll take your house. So he's like, my odds are pretty good because you're gonna die pretty quick. and then we're just like, yeah, I'll take those odds. It's like, what do I have to lose?
Exactly. So we grab Gene's suit. Turns out, because he's homeless, he hasn't been paying for the license for quite a few years. So we need to go to Mr. Keef's pawn shop to renew our license. But as we're on our way over there, we keep getting spam pop-ups and malware and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of
you're having to continuously click out
It's
of
like
pop-ups as you're walking.
a lot of alien porn pop-ups and stuff. Just like a
Which-
lot of bad shit.
Didn't know it was alien porn at the time. And then Gene Strip makes a comment like later in the end game about just chilling and watching alien porn. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
is that what that is? Oh, okay.
Alien porn with the little tentacles popping up out of the what does it look? It looked like
I thought it was like a rave video or something.
it looked like that those deep sea like plants. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where the clownfish live in? I don't know. What they're
Yeah,
called.
like and then anemone.
Anemone. Yeah, those things.
Anemone.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was at first, and like later you said it was porn. So that's what alien porn is, and it's pretty funny. Nothing really explicit, but yeah. So once you get done with that, you go up to what was it? The pawn shop. What was it called?
Yeah, Mr. Keeps. Yep.
Mr. Keeps. You go to Mr. Keeps pawn shop and you can finally get rid of the ads. And then the suit asks you if you want to have the tutorial go or whatever, or you want to keep them around or whatever. And it's like, yes, or absolutely, of course. You don't even have a choice in that. But so I just like, okay, yes. He's like, all right, thanks, great, bye. And then you leave.
I'll see you later. Yeah, everyone's fucking with you in this game.
Yeah.
Even Mr. Keep, his whole pawn shop is just a joke, full of mini jokes, because he's aptly named. He doesn't want to actually sell anything, so you can go around and request to buy every single thing in his office, his shop, but he'll tell you no on almost everything. He's like, no, I need that one for like sentimental value, or he'll keep making up excuses. There's only like 2 things you can actually buy in the store until you come back later.
Yeah, and everything that you could buy is like upgrades and stuff, but that's like behind the counter. I was actually interested in some of the things that you had for sale. I was really thinking I could buy them, and I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't buy them, but it makes sense.
Yeah, there's the one thing.
Let's keep everything.
This is the one thing right to the left when you enter. It's like a plus size suit, and I thought that meant it was just like an upgrade suit. And he's like, no, you can't buy that. You wouldn't fit in it. I was really upset. I was thinking it was like a suit I could get later, and I think it was just meant to be like it's a suit for someone who's bigger.
It's just a joke, yeah.
Probably Mr. Keeps even.
Probably.
He was a bounty hunter.
Guy. Yeah, but I mean, you get done with Mr. Keeps, then you go back to your house, and I don't know if you noticed the little construction dudes walking out of the house.
But there was they put fucking signs all over the side of the house. So like unauthorized house parking.
Yeah, there was a guy writing a ticket there too. Unauthorized house parking. That's funny. But yeah, there's a bunch of little construction dudes walking out, and you notice there's like scratch marks all over the floor going into the house.
Oh,
and then you go in. That's where you see your new Bounty 5000 that's placed in the middle of your living room, and Gene's just hanging out on the couch.
Yeah, sorry, I was wrong before. So there wasn't a blood trail in the intro mission there where she beats where Lizzie, her sister, beats the alien with the bat. It was after these 5 guys left. They took the body with them. You just don't see that. And there was a trail of blood from when they dragged him out.
Oh.
So I thought these guys killed our sister, and that's when I was worrying. Because you also see the scratch marks all over the floor, too.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That makes sense when you put it that way, but that's pretty funny.
Yep. So I was like, oh my god, they fucking murdered our sister. And they're just walking out.
Yeah.
But then I put together, I was like, oh, it just must be the alien body. I think our sister was just chilling at the counter, and Gene's in there. I guess he interpreted that as he's living in our house until we die.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just chilling there watching TV, and that's where he is the rest of the game. He made himself at home. He doesn't clean up after himself. I don't know if you noticed how progressively worse or messy the house got every time he got done with the bounty.
Yeah, it tends to get a little gross in there.
it was pretty bad. But yeah, he's making himself at home, and you ask him what to do next, and he doesn't know exactly what to do, so he just sends you on a quest
Yeah, he's
to
like, let's just
go
go
retrieve
kill
his
a
knife.
low-level bounty. Oh,
Well,
yes.
yeah,
Yep.
he mainly wants you to go get his knife, which is knifey, and also
Yeah.
kill Night Torg.
A very important detail. He says, "I do not want Knifey back." He's like you keep him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wants us to go kill Nine Torg. So when I was on the way to go kill Nine Torg and heading off to the slums, I was like, okay, this will be like a like someone who has like 9 body parts or something, or 9 version. Like, I don't know what I was thinking exactly, but they're just clones. All the
Yeah.
Torgs are clones.
Yeah.
So as we get down into the slums, we get to ride down a really fun tunnel to get down here, and pass a really awesome gate where you have to choose between the 2 guys and tell them who's more handsome, and they'll let you in their gate. Whoever you
Oh
tell is
man,
handsome.
that is funny.
And then
I
the other
actually,
one will constantly hate you for the rest of the game.
yeah. So I mean, it doesn't really matter which one you think is hotter because like the doors are right next to each other, and it doesn't really matter which door you go through because at least it's the same place. But yeah, it's kind of funny because after that whole thing where they're just like asking you which one is hotter, one is like really confident in themselves, one isn't so confident in himself. And I actually
Yep.
went through this, and I actually said the red one was hotter, and then he's like all feeling bad for himself, and I felt bad for him, so I'm like, I actually blue's hotter, and he's like, yeah, I knew it. He had this whole high self-esteem, and then the other one was just pissed, like he was absolutely pissed every time I went past him. He's like, yeah, you can't use my door though because you fucking suck. It's like
I'd like to see the breakup stats on that for how people chose, because I also went with the blue door, but I chose him originally and then doubled down to stay with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just it's one of those things. I think it's funny.
It's good. Now we get into another comedic situation right at the bottom, where it's almost like a Borderlands enemy, because it's this little kid that comes up to you. Reminds me of Shooty McShootface. He's like,
Yeah.
He's bothering us, and he's asking us to shoot him. And I think he's like calling us a bitch and stuff. And so I shoot him dead in the head, and he actually fucking died. And you get an achievement. It says like Fallout wouldn't let you do this. And now Kenny tells us that we lost our E rating for the game. So
You lost the E rating. God damn it. Yeah, I actually was able to get past him without killing him. And then I went down into the slums after that. And then I found his mom working at a stand. And she basically is like, yeah, I told him not to be so annoying. I mean, you could go kill him if you want to. And then I went back and killed him. And then
they're like, oh, okay, I got you.
yeah, I'm like,
1 second.
Like, you can go kill him if you want to. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, I went back and killed him, and I came back, and he's like, oh, thank you for killing my son. I was like, this game's fucked up.
I didn't even try to get around him. I just shot him dead right there.
Oh, there you go. Didn't they not let you shoot him like right away though?
No, I
like
pulled the
Kenny
trigger.
was against it.
He's dead.
He didn't want to shoot him. Maybe it was
yeah. Kenny didn't.
Point.
Kenny didn't want to shoot him, but I shot the guy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I went down to the mother as well, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm a little bit sad, but it's okay. He had it coming."
It's like completely different. That is crazy. He was actually 30 years old. It wasn't even a kid.
Yeah, she specifies that. She's like, yeah, it's a kid to like us, but not to like your ages.
Yeah. This is different because we're aliens. It's like, okay. Yeah, so yeah, and then after all that, you go a little bit further, and there's these 2 guards, like ant people guards. This is like these are the main enemies of this level, and they're standing their guard, and they're just like, hey, you can't get through here. And if you wait a little bit, they'll be like, yeah, we're like the hardest bosses in the game, so you might as well go back and get yourself leveled up so you can fight us. And if you actually start walking back, Kenny will be like, yeah, I think you're making the right call. Yeah, we got to go get ourselves leveled up, and we'll get this done. We'll come back and fuck them up. And then after a little bit, you're still walking back, and he's like, I'm kidding. Go back. Let's go kill them. These were not,
I didn't try
these
that.
were not
That's
hard
awesome.
enemies. They were really easy. They were just really fucking with you. It's
like one or two shots.
Yeah, 1 or 2 shots, they'll die. But it's funny that they were trying to trick you into thinking that.
Yeah, you blow through some enemies for a while till you get to Nine Torg's Den. She's a pretty cool boss fight. I was not expecting to actually jump around and stuff like that. Sorry, I rewind here to get Knifey. So we get Knifey on the way to Nine Torg. It's like you can't skip him. He's I think all the Gatlians are forced. You have to get them. And you walk into this, what looks like a drug trade or something. One of the ants lets you in the room.
Just go with it. No shooting.
All right, here's the product. A genuine talking knife. I gotta be honest with you. He's a real piece of shit.
He's extremely violent. He basically only talks about wanting to kill people in very disturbing ways.
Fuck you, I'm gonna carve out your anal cavity. Gonna make it 3 times as big. Your shit's just gonna drop right out of there.
See what I'm talking about?
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then there's just this knife on this like operating table, and the 2 ants are talking to you, and they're like, okay, you just, buy him and take him out and just leave. Don't listen to anything he says. And as you pick up Knifey, he's fucking trembling, and he's asking you, he's like, put me in their necks. Put me in their necks. He's going off on a blood rage.
Yeah.
So of course you stab them to death.
Yeah, of course. The only logical thing to do. But like before you walk in, there's if you wait a little bit, you can actually overhear what they're talking about. So what they're waiting on is a buyer for the knife. They're waiting on somebody to come up and buy the knife. So I was able to lie to them and say that I was the buyer. I actually overheard them talking about their how. No, actually, I didn't convince them I was the buyer. I told them that I was his long lost lover because I overheard them talking about that. I said, "I'm your long lost lover."
I think I just told him I was the buyer.
Yeah. So after I did that, I was able to pick up the knife and I killed one of them. The other one was like, "Oh no, my other long lost lover," and then I killed him too. Or it wasn't long lost. That was my other lover. Oh god, that made me crack up so much. I also seen videos on YouTube of like if you pick up Knifey and like not kill them right away, it's like you like knife the wall or something. He's like, "What the fuck? You missed." And just like little tidbits that they added to where they kind of could predict whatever you do in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of good dialogue, a lot of random stuff. Yeah, so now that we have Knifey, we can go to Nine Torg finally, because Knifey has the ability to what do you call it? Not
Tether.
zipline, but like a grappling hook. Yeah, tether. So this is where we make our way over to Nine Torg's den, and then we can jump around the arena as we're fighting her, because she's bringing like toxic sludge in, and you have to like avoid it.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a pretty good boss battle. I like this one.
It was pretty good. It's a lot of dodging because he shoots like 3 bullets in a flat spread, and then like she raises the acid, so you have to like swing around in the air for a little bit and avoid all that, and then you could actually deflect her shots with Knifey, which I didn't figure out till like halfway into the boss fight.
I didn't know that throughout the whole game.
So like anytime a boss shoots like big like they're like kind of slower moving shots at you. But if they're like the bigger ones, you can actually knife them and it'll deflect it back to them. So yeah, that was very helpful. That was what I learned in this boss fight, and I was able to use it every boss fight since. So helped out a lot.
Yeah, totally different playstyles, and I definitely did not use that at all.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I wouldn't have known until Knifey popped up, or he piped up and told me that I could do it. And then I don't know if he did that for you at all. Maybe you weren't paying attention, but that's what he said. He mentioned it, and I was able to do it. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty sweet. And I just kept doing it over and over again every time she did it. And I was able to like predict her actions and stuff after that, and it was good. Pretty good boss fight. Yeah. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple, pretty fun. So after we dispatched 9torg here, we're told we got to bring evidence back of her death. So I think we tore off like a mandible or something like that.
Something. I don't think you actually ever see what you take off of the body, but
you actually can look in your inventory and all their pieces are there.
Oh, actually, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay,
that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
but yeah, we kill her, and then 9torg's sister or clone, I guess, 5torg was tied up behind her. I don't know if you did this at all, but as you'll see, it's a running thing for me that I shot everyone. I killed her. And it popped up a secret boss bar. And then I just shot her to death because she was still tied up.
Oh my god. It's ruthless, man.
And Kenny was like, oh yeah, that's understandable. I guess she probably would have went crazy and took power as well.
Yeah, I actually sat through their dialogue there, and she basically said, she's like, things are going to change around here. And Kenny's like, oh, so no more crime? She's like, oh, no, not that much change. But yeah, things are going to change. It's like, okay, I guess they're all evil. But yeah, that's kind of funny that you just shot her.
Yeah, it was, she was labeled as like a secret boss on like the boss or the health bar at the top or something.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
So
after this,
head back home to see Jean.
Backtrack back through the level and go back to the house, and this is where you kind of get choices on which bounty you want to go through next. It's like a series of like 2. You gotta have a choice. So from now on, we're not gonna have in succession the same bosses as we probably would, because like there's choices at this point. So the next one I went after was Douglas. I don't know what you did.
I did want to say before we leave our house again here, Knifey was really obsessed with stabbing Jean because he thinks he betrayed him and left it. I don't know if you did this at all, but I stabbed Jean with Knifey.
I didn't.
It didn't kill him. He was just very pissed at us, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And he's bleeding all over. So,
oh my god. Yeah, I the way Knifey described how he was gonna kill him, I'm like, okay, I gotta hold this knife back. He's actually gonna kill him. He's like, expose your big soft belly so I can cut right through it. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to do that.
He did not though. He stabbed him in the belly. It did not work. He's like, oh, I'll try again later.
I'll try again later. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't do Douglas next. I went to Krubis. I think Krubis. I stuck in like order of where they were in the machine.
Okay. Yeah, Krubis is fun.
Let's move over to Douglas.
You want to do Douglas first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for the Douglas fight, when you first go into the portal, you go into this desert area. It's like it's just exactly what it is. It's like a desert area, and you have to go into this place called Old Town, which is like a old like Western themed kind of city. And once you get there, well,
you're in Dregtown, and then
Dregtown. Dregtown is after Old Town.
Sorry, Douglas lives in Dregtown, which is
Yeah.
cooler than Old Town.
Way
It's a
cooler
new
than Old
town.
Town. Yeah.
Way cooler.
It was like a completely different dynamic from Old Town, Dregtown. It's kind of cool though. Yeah. When you first get there, there's like a bunch of little monsters running around. There's like I don't know how to describe them. They spit acid at you, and
Oh, I hate these enemies. They fucking dig in the ground. It's the worst thing is when you're able to easily kill an enemy, but it's fucking whatever its power, whether it's a shield or hiding, makes it the battle last longer just because it's fucking avoiding you.
I ended up running past a lot of these enemies because like they didn't seem to be much of a challenge.
You get nothing for killing them. There's no leveling system. You don't need the XP.
And as long as you avoid their spits and kind of run right through them, there's not really a point to killing them.
Did you find the tremor worm out here?
I didn't. What's that?
If you're running around outside Old Town, they have signs like saying like danger, like don't go any further in the sign. And if you do, there's a big fucking worm. I think it had Morty's voice, so it was really jarring. And it fucking eats you and kills you.
That's crazy. So it was it like a Tremors reference?
I think so, yeah. Or Holes, whichever one was it that had the big worms.
Yeah, it was Tremors.
Yeah.
Holes was like a Disney movie.
Oh,
with Shia LaBeouf. They were just digging holes. Tremors actually used to scare me as a kid. I generated an actual fear of worms coming up out of the ground and killing me, and I was terrified. That's Tremors. It's like Tremors worms. Yeah, unlocked a new fear. But yeah, before you get to Old Town, there's these group of construction workers. They're called the
Mac and Cheese Brothers.
Mac and Cheese Brothers. Yeah, and they say you can't proceed because they're doing construction or whatever. And then what you could do is you could just walk right past them, and they won't do anything. They just like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you? They're just yelling at you every time.
Oh,
you have to go through this whole parkour thing, and they're still yelling at you from the distance. It's like you're not supposed to be doing that.
We definitely took two different routes to this game. You just keep walking by people. I don't know if you can guess it, but I killed all of them.
You killed all of them.
Except for the old one sitting in the chair. I left him, but I killed all the other guys. He's like, that's okay. They were assholes.
Oh, man.
Everyone's just okay in this game with murder.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay, though. I mean, it is a game. And except they are pretty aware of that.
Kenny, each time I kill people,
Kenny points that out. He's like,
yeah,
you didn't have to do that. We could have walked right past them, but yeah, I just walked right past them and I didn't have a problem. You could kill them if you want to, but it doesn't really make a difference. Maybe it sates your appetite for murder, maybe a little bit, but there's plenty of that throughout the game, anyways.
For sure, there's a lot of murder.
But then after you get through the parkour area, you get to Old Town where there's a guy. He's like Sir Piss himself or something.
Yeah. It's just a weird piss joke.
Pants. I don't know. There's like something about peeing himself. Some joke about his name.
He was telling us about...
Yeah.
He was telling us about how to get into Dregtown, because that's where we're heading. And then he's like telling us about his name. You can ask him in one of the dialogue options. He's like, yeah, it's because I piss myself all the time. He's like, I'm doing it right now. You actually see a puddle forming, and I actually backed up from the guy. I was like, this is fucking gross.
Yeah, it's
weird.
Yeah, I mean, he opens up the gate for you after, the whole disgusting pissing himself. And then there's a bunch of G3 in there that you got to kill. It was pretty easy. I mean, they're coming up from like the sides of the buildings and stuff and all that. You still got those little monsters spitting acid at you too.
Yeah,
there's that. Things. And then once you get through there, you get to a gate. It's where you're supposed to go into Dregtown, and I think it's just called Dreg. The city is just called Dreg. But yeah, there's a gate, and he said the gate operator says there's too many G3 recruits to open the door, and you have to take them out around town. So you have to go around, and there's like 3 different areas where you just have to go around killing G3.
Yep, just your standard. Go clean up this many enemies to continue.
Yeah, it's pretty standard procedure in RPGs.
What is not standard procedure is, as we finally get into Dregtown, then to get into Douglas's area, we gotta get gooped. So we look like one of the things, and we follow this old creepy guy into an alleyway where he tells us to go down further into the dark alleyway to get gooped.
Hey there. Thanks for coming over here. I'm the goop guy around these parts. You want to sneak into G3 facilities? You gotta get covered in goop. That's just how it goes. My stuff's quality. So you want some goop, right?
This
I
guy
did not
was
know this is
something.
how you got gooped. Yeah, he's a creepy guy. He has like some twins too throughout the game.
Yeah,
we'll talk
there's
about
3
later.
of them throughout the game. Yep.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, and they're all pretty interesting. But they all look the same, and they all know each other too. But yeah, this guy he looks pretty creepy, and he's like selling.
He's wearing a trench coat.
Yeah,
he's naked underneath it too.
Yeah, and so yeah, there's like this big monster thing on top of this cage where you go to get gooped, and he just poops all over you. Just like lays it all over you, and it's disgusting. But
very nasty.
You get gooped. So now
gooped.
you look like one of the G3 because this is how they get gooped. Apparently, it's pretty strong armor to be getting shit on.
Yeah.
I want to know who thought of this. Who thought of this? Like, yeah, let's take this this big monster thing, alien thing. Let's have him poop on us. Yeah, that'll give us the armor we need.
So Douglas is the head of training and torture. So now that we get allowed into the base, we have to go through the training that every recruit does to become G3. Which after going through all this training, I'm like, how do they have any G3? Because they killed everybody. We go into this theater and you have to watch like an introductory video and stuff, and then they put you through what is it called, like combat training and stuff.
Yeah,
and then once you get through all that, it's just you left. You're the only survivor at the end of all these prospective recruits. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm not ready for you for the next stage. Can you wait here for an hour in the theater?" And so I actually waited the hour. I assume you probably continued on.
Yeah, why would you wait the hour?
Really wanted to see what happened. So I just sat on my phone and waited for an hour. Every 15 minutes, Douglas would check in. He's like, "Yep, just keep waiting." And at the end of the hour, it's pointless. It's pointless. Don't do it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot the reason why we were even waiting the hour." But he's like, "Sorry, like go home or something." Yeah,
yeah.
And you have to go through the same way you normally would, anyways. So.
Oh man, that sucks. Well, I mean, at least you got to know, but at least they have a reason or have a thing for actually waiting an hour. But that's kind of funny.
Yeah, just some comments, but it was not worth the hour.
No.
I will never get that back.
Yeah. So if you're a maniac and sat through the hour, after the hour, you would do the same thing as you did. There's like a little hole that you could find on the side of the theater. I don't know. Did you actually like explore a little bit while you were waiting? Did you find the hole?
No. I just sat in my seat because I knew I seen where the hole was. So I'm like, okay, that's where I'm going to go. If I didn't want to wait the hour, I thought like the theater would open up or something. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. You thought the theater would open up because there was another instance before this, like in the beginning, where you're with a bunch of other recruits, and then the theater opened up, and there was like some enemies in there, some of those acid spitting creatures that you had to fight, and that started the obstacle course. and that was kind of cool. The whole obstacle course part of this game I thought was kind of cool. I mean, it was pretty simple, but then again,
Fun
it was
though.
like it was fun. There was through the obstacle course. There's a lot of recruits that died doing the deadly traps and the parkour you had to do. But yeah, after that, crawl through the tunnels, and you get outside, and you find this alien named Dr. Jupy,
Dr.
and he
Droopy.
sounds very likable. Did you shoot Jupy?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't even consider that.
Oh, okay. You didn't even consider killing Jupy. Okay, well,
No, but now that
Jupy
I've
needs.
played the game, I wish I did.
Yeah, there's a thing for if you kill Jupy, he actually still goes through the whole pipeline, and his suit actually is still alive.
Oh,
You
okay.
still have to fight him. But anyways,
Did you shoot him?
I didn't shoot him, but I saw a video on it. What
Okay.
happens if you kill Dr. Jupy? I don't know. Like after I beat the game, I saw a lot of videos popping up on my feed of like what happens if you do this and that. So I have some knowledge on what happens if you do stuff. But anyways, so Dr. Droopy needs some help with some puzzles. So you need to like rearrange the puzzles.
Pipe puzzles.
Yeah, pipe puzzles. So you can so he can get through the pipes to get to his family because they're all starving and you feel bad for them. They're all depending on him. And yeah, so
We do
little puzzle
3
area.
sets of these. These are actually really cool. It was a nice break of the pace from combat. I like these puzzles. I always like pipe puzzles. They're just a fun little thing in any game.
Yeah. Or those it's either the pipe puzzles or those like electric wiring puzzles.
Yep.
Go to point A to point B and match up all the wires. Those are fun.
Yeah, so we do like 3 sets of this pipe puzzle for Jupy to get to the lair where Douglas is supposed to be. And oh no, it turns out Dr. Jupy was Douglas all along. He was just too hungover to figure out how to get back into his suit.
Yeah. So, yeah, as I said before, you could kill Jupy before this. He just wouldn't have any dialogue through those puzzles. And
You still have to do the puzzles?
You still have to do the puzzles, and you get him through to his suit, and then you have to fight his suit. But Dr. Jupy is just dead. Or Douglas is just dead. I confused the two, I guess. I never saw it coming, honestly. Dr. Jupy seemed completely different from Douglas. But yeah, it was this boss battle was a little more challenging than the last, but it was still fun. So the floor like gets electrified at some points, so you have to like dodge him, and then Douglas like teleports from all these pillars and stuff, and you have to keep on shooting him. And
we got the shocky floors in here.
Yeah.
Jumping around.
So I mean, basically, if you just don't stop moving, that's the main thing in this is just don't stop moving because he has an automatic gun, and so he's constantly shooting at you, and then also with the electrified floors, you just can't stay in one place.
Yeah. Then again, I was on an easy difficulty, but I didn't find this one too bad. I mean, you had far more than enough warning to move for your shocky plates. You just move to a different plate, shoot him a bit, move, do that till he's dead. And then we get Squeezy, our second Gatlian from this battle, or be second for you, third for me at this time.
Yeah, Squeezy. So Squeezy is an automatic gun, can shoot time bubbles, which is helpful for getting through fans. Fans are spinning really fast. You shoot a time bubble. I seem like this is like a really video game trope. It's always a fan that you got to like slow down time or whatever.
Yeah, yep. Or like a big crunching door or something, like in Dead Space.
Yeah, something like that. It's always something like that. Dead Space is a good one because it's like that. Like the whole
stasis all the time.
Stasis is the whole time slowing down thing. Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, I did not like Squeezy. It was probably my least favorite gun, both practically and his or her voice. Couldn't really tell.
Her, yeah.
Yeah,
But
just,
yeah, I didn't really use her much. Only when I had to, when I was switching out weapons. But yeah, other than that, it really wasn't my first choice. So I mean, after that, you get to try her out on some enemies up ahead. There's like a part where I got stuck on this part because I got confused because they wanted me to shoot through the walls. I must have missed the part where she actually just told me that I could shoot through walls, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? And I was like trying to like climb up or try to get around to get a good shot. And I'm like,
I had the exact same thing. I kept trying to slow down one of those trams that was passing by and jump over that way. And I was like, just what is going on? I don't know like what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think I accidentally killed them through the wall, and then it worked.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I actually just like I got to a point where I just said fuck it and started trying to shoot through the wall, and then you actually had to like charge up the gun in order to actually charge it up to shoot through the wall, because then it's like a rail gun at that point, and then that's where you could shoot them through the wall and get past that part. But yeah, then you had to get through it by doing some more Sweezy related puzzles with like time bubbles and stuff. Like I never really saw a point in using the time bubble in actual combat. I don't know.
It's only for those lug loxes, really. That's the only time I ever used it, is to get those.
Yeah, it's
to get
like
through fans and stuff.
Trying to use it in combat is kind of whatever. I mean, I guess what you could do is if you were to use the time bubble and then like slow them down so they're like all clustered, and then switch to Kenny to use his trick shot, which is like a kind of like a grenade launcher, kind of blow them up. But then again, I don't know. Yeah, I never tried it, but I didn't use Sweezy that much, but I just thought of that. But yeah, once you get through that, a little bit of that, you get a portal that goes back to your house.
Yep, yeah, nice, saving us some backtracking and stuff, and then we head on to my second, your third bounty, Krubus.
Yeah.
I did not like this map at all. I really enjoy the dialogue in the boss battle here, but I hate this jungle map. It's stupid, and it's so confusing. On our way to find Krubus, we find these creepy-ass furry gummy bear things. I think they're called moplets. I could not stand looking at these guys. They're creepy as hell.
Apparently, like before we get to Krubus, though, when you get back to the house after Douglas, I mean, I guess for me at least, after that first boss battle, do you remember going back to the house and Lizzie and Jean having an argument, and you actually had a dialogue?
Yes. Sorry, that was after Krubus for me in my notes here.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, yeah, after that, you can have a choice to either side with Lizzie or Jean, and I don't remember exactly. I guess I didn't write what I chose with. I didn't think it mattered, but apparently it does matter later on who you side with. Cause,
it does?
Yeah. Apparently it has some effect on how the relationship goes with her and her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what they were arguing about is, she's seeing a new alien boyfriend, and like he's like trying to be like a dad figure and say like she shouldn't be doing that. And then I'm just going. I think I went with Lizzie because I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, just let her do what she wants.
Yeah, I think I sided with Lizzie every time they argued.
Yeah, because like, who the fuck is Gene? He's just like some bum in our house. Just, I didn't really think he had a say in anything. But yeah, there's that. So that's more mentioned later on, anyway. So.
Yep. So they were watching Tammy and the T-Rex when I came in, and then we solved their disputes and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. So after that, you get to choose the next bounty, and then you go to a new planet.
Krubus.
I forgot what the planet was. For Krubus.
Krubus is the boss. Yeah.
Yeah, you go to Krubus, and then I forget what the planet is called, but you go there. You go
like Zephyr
here
or something like that.
2 of the bosses for this.
Yeah. Like
And,
Zephyr Forest.
Zephyr, that's what it is. Yeah, you go to Zephyr and it's like a jungle planet. And yeah,
Yeah, this place
G3 are taking over.
sucks mostly, but it's okay. We save some moplets in their village because they're being enslaved to mine for what do you call them? They're these weird like Furby looking things, but they're completely like brown.
Yeah,
And it's like the main drug that the G3 cartel sells until they found humans, which they found out humans are the most potent drug they've ever found. So that's why they're taking over our planet. But yeah, it's these weird like fur ball things.
We'll call them Furbies.
Yeah, until I at least remember the name. So they're like mining for those, and that's why they're enslaving the moplets. But yeah, they're like, well, thanks for saving us, and they refer us like to how to find a warp device, like a portable one, to so we can track down Krubus, and we have to go find Ranchi, who is a major drug addict and a fucking serial killer. You find his mansion out here in the forest, and it's full of these dead Furbies, like twisted apart in the toilet with blood all over. They're everywhere.
You could tell he was tweaking too by the way he was talking, because he was just rambling, going on about his idea about an amusement park and shit, and then you find out that he has a warp disk encryptor that we'll later on use, but then we have to go out and actually find the warp disk.
Yeah, I was pretty sad that we never got to kill this guy. I tried. Trust me, I tried. He doesn't really get his just desserts or anything. I think he gets warped away later, but I don't think we ever find out if he dies or anything.
He gets warped away. We'll get to it.
It replaces his place.
Yeah. I have a whole bit on my experience with him before he gets warped. I don't know if you had the same experience, but
sounds good. Yeah, so he gives us like the encryptor thingy or whatever. Now we just need to go find a blank drive and Krubus's actual coordinates. So we get the blank drive by helping the Moplets. They want us to find their chosen one and bring him back. And it's this like king that we bring him warped back, and he's a dick.
Yeah, he's an asshole, man. He's just lazy watching porn. It's just a mess. He's laying on the couch, just like,
which I didn't know it was porn at the time still.
Yeah, well, yeah, now we know it's porn, but yeah, it's nothing explicit. Then again, it just looks like an anemones.
Yeah, he's just bossing around the other Moplets and stuff, and he's like, well, the chosen one wants this, or yeah. I can't remember if I tried to kill him or not. I think I didn't want to piss off the Moplets, so I didn't shoot this guy.
I don't think anybody would. They'd
have to find a new chosen one.
Yeah, find a new chosen one. That's about it.
Yeah, so that part was pretty easy. And I get lost for a while trying to find where the mines are to start our new job. And we find Karen. Sorry, her name is not Karen. Or is it Karen?
It is Karen.
She's the HR lady, the receptionist right at the front, and she starts asking us to fill out paperwork and stuff to start a new job. And there's not really an Easter egg, but like an interesting bit of dialogue you can have here. You can say that you're the new boss, and if you killed Douglas first and had Squeezy with you, then you would succeed in that like speech check thing, and you could have been the new boss and not done the normal jobs. I don't know if you did that at all.
Nope, I did the normal job.
Okay, I did this one first, so I didn't get that chance.
Well, I guess I didn't have. I said I was the new hire, anyways. I didn't say I was the new boss. So,
yep. Well, since you killed Douglas first, you would have gotten away with it if you said you were the new boss.
I guess I didn't know that. So
it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I have to go back and play that to see how that plays out. But yeah, we get a new job and we're just filing paperwork.
bureaucracy simulator. And then you're just like, you're sitting there stamping things over and over again. There's not really much agency you could do over this. You're just like stamping things over and over. Not really much going on, just to see how much you can stamp before time runs out. Well, I don't think time runs out. I think it just timed you on how fast you could do it.
There's no reward or anything, unless I
Nope.
just didn't do it fast enough, but I thought I did. You just, like, the score doesn't really matter. You do 3 stacks of paperwork, and then you're, like, done for the day.
Yep.
And the manager comes out of the office and thanks you, and then you can go into Krubus's office and get his coordinates.
Yep. Yeah, so, and then once you find his coordinates, you put it on the blank drive that we retrieved earlier, and then now you're able to warp you're able to write Krubus's location on that warp drive, so you could just warp him to you.
Yep.
Then the moplets tell you that you need to clear out one of their stations to get the drive to summon the chosen one, and once you do that, you summon the chosen one. He's a dick, and then you get...
Yeah. I guess you can do it in any order. I did the drive with the moplets first.
Oh, well,
and
yeah,
the
no,
coordinates.
I guess I messed up. So in order to get the drive, that's where you get the blank drive from, was the Prince chosen one, right? So you go and get that from him, and then you come back to Krubus's office and then write his location on the drive, and then you're good. Yeah, I got ahead of myself. But yeah, and then you go back to Ranchi's mansion to use his encryptor. And then this is where you find Ranchi. He's there is the first time you went to his house, there wasn't much any Fergles everywhere. They're called Fergles, by the way.
Fergles. Oh, yes.
Here. But yeah, there wasn't many Fergles everywhere, but he was using, he's really hyped up about it. But then once you get there, they're just everywhere. Like, he's all strung out and they're just dead everywhere. I actually went and explored his mansion, and there was blood everywhere. They were like stuffed into the toilet. They're all over the bed. It was gross.
They're in every location you can imagine.
Yeah. And then he starts crashing as you're talking to him. And then he like passes out from withdrawals. And then like, I don't know if you left right away, but if you stick around for a little bit, he wakes up. And then he's like, oh, I can't move. I'm pissing myself. I'm shitting myself. I'm sitting and shitting piss. And he goes on for like 10 minutes just doing that. It's so fucking funny.
At least that's some solace. He soils himself. I left after he passed out.
Yeah.
Went to the warp location.
I was like, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was taking notes, and I was just kind of sitting there. And then he just woke up as I was sitting there, and then he just started going on about like how he can't get up. Like, he was like, you could tell he sounded like his face was in the ground, and then like he couldn't move, and he was just pissing and shitting himself. But yeah, so now that we have the encrypted warp drive, we can go outside and use his mansion. Replace his mansion with Krubus's base. And once you do this, it actually breaks down the ground
beneath us
around you, and then you fall down into the boss arena. And that's where you start the boss fight.
Yeah, this one was okay. It was an okay boss battle.
Yeah, he's shooting discs at you and shit, and you could actually deflect those discs back at him with knifey. So that was pretty cool.
And there's like lasers in this one, I think.
Yeah, lots of
like
lasers.
That.
He's like spinning around, and he digs in the ground and pops up like a mole, and then you can shoot him.
Yeah, not a bad boss battle. Not extremely interesting. We kill this guy, and we get Gus to add to our collection.
Yeah,
he's the low talking shotgun.
Yeah, I actually I recognized his voice right away, and then I figured it I recognized his voice. I'm like, that's JB Smoove. And I googled it right then, and I found out it was him. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
JB Smoove.
he's good. I like him.
I remember him from No Way Home, and was it the Real Husbands of Hollywood or something with Kevin Hart? I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not. No.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, he's in that too. I don't remember much of his other work, but yeah.
Yeah, we head back to Gene again then, and then Gene says Mayor Klug wants to meet us. We previously, you can like see on the TVs, Klug has some ads and stuff. He's against drugs and wants to defeat them, and so yeah, Klug offers his help to us since he heard that we've killed like 3 bosses now, and he gives us a little teleporter that we can send humans to this like safe haven, which we will find out is a very dark place behind the scenes. Yeah, once we're back again after talking with Klug, Gene says we should go get a jetpack. So then we had to go see Mr. Keep again to get a jetpack this time. This jetpack is pretty low leveled. Like, you can't fly for very long with it when you first start, but it gets better as you upgrade it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, at first it's mostly used as like a glider because you can't really like. Yeah, it kind of essentially is like a double jump for you. I assume that's why they opted for the crouch instead of the double jump because of the jetpack. So it has its moments, but yeah, it helps you get across long jumps and pretty good. You get to test it out while you're on the roof of your house or something because when you get back, Gene tells you to go get some sleep. And then it was kind of jarring for me because I went to bed and then all of a sudden I'm on the roof. First I thought it was a dream, but then find out it was like a couple days later. Like, okay.
Yeah, because the jetpack was on back order at Mr. Keep's shop, so we had to wait a week or something.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, you get to test it out while you're on the roof of your house and stuff, and pretty cool.
Yeah, this is one little thing that I noticed. When we went to sleep, it fast forwards through each of the days, and we land on Glub's Day, which is the day our jetpack arrives. But as they go through each of the days, it was like a weird alien name for each one. But then Tuesday was still the same. So
I didn't even notice that.
Still have Tuesdays in Blim City.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get to go test out the jetpack, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. So what boss fight? Yeah, at this point you're back into the main game and you can go back and do the next bounty. So what did you do next?
Yep. I had the Screndel brothers next. Was that the same for you?
Yeah, that was the same for me.
Okay. Yeah, we come back through our portal back to, I think they're back in the Zephyr Forest area as well. Or sorry, not the same like Zephyr Forest area, just same like planet. And we're in this nice little peaceful forest where we previously like fought Krubus and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Screndel brothers came back and had enslaved all the Moplets that we were freed and killed a bunch. So we have to make our way through to the Screndel labs.
Yep. So the Screndel labs, the Screndel brothers are in charge of like laboratory stuff for the cartel and stuff. Once we get to
all the fucked up shit,
but once we get to the labs, we ran into Helen. It's Helen, not Karen. My bad.
Helen. Actually, yes, that sounds more right.
Yeah, Helen.
Yeah, she's like, you killed my last boss, so now I'm receptionist for the Screndel brothers.
You see, this might be a recurring thing, but so she alerts the G3 of our presence. She's like, "Oh, it's nothing personal. I just have to, alert the G3 of her presence. I hope it's not anything too bad." She's just the Midwestern lady,
Yeah.
voice sounding. So the G3 show up and we have to fight through them, and we have to go up the elevators till we found, and then we had to do this cool little detective work with the suit. I guess whatever his name is. The suit has his own.
Oh, it's just pseudo.
Pseudo, yeah.
Yeah.
So pseudo is like, it's detective time, and then so we have to.
Are you? You might be on giblets.
Oh, maybe. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, no. So we find Creature. When do we find Creature?
Creatures
He's in the
during
lab, right?
during this section, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess I was getting ahead of myself, but so we find Creature, and Creature's an interesting little Gatlian, and he can shoot little babies, and the Creature is great because you could just shoot Creature in any direction.
Yep.
And
they run
his
to
little
him.
babies will just run over to him and attack him, and you could just pile them on, and it's great. Like, I honestly thought this was the best best gun in the game once I got it.
Plus, his little trick hole is shooting at a little pink guy, and that one mind controls whoever it attaches to.
Yeah, mind controls them, which is also really useful. It's like having an extra gun on your side there. Just shoot them out there and then kind of forget about it.
Right. So if you don't want to worry about accuracy, just shoot off all Creature's babies, and they'll find their enemies.
Or Creature, just use Creature. Like, if you're not that accurate, just use Creature for the rest of the game. You will have no problem.
Yeah. I don't know if you found this room as we're going through the laboratories. You see all these fucked up experiments that they're doing, and there's this one side room where you find this scientist, and she's got 2 humans in a tank, and just one human in a tank, and then 2 other creatures, and she's like, press one of these buttons to like try and merge it with the human. So they're like doing tests. I don't know why I thought this would turn out well, but I pressed one of the buttons and the human tank just filled with blood. So.
Oh, yeah, I remember doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
Not much happened.
No, just a weird side thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get Creature in here. They were like testing on him and stuff. But he's very happy-go-lucky, even through all the trauma he's been put through.
They did a lot of fucked up experiments on me, but you know what? There's a bright side to everything. Man, yeah, you gotta love Creature. He's just always a vibe.
We kill a shit ton of mercs until we finally find Jonathan Screndel. He's the first of the brothers that we defeat before he runs off. Then we find Angela next, who I had a hell of a time finding, just because sometimes the locked doors in this game, you can't tell if they're locked from a distance until you're like touching it with your nose. And so I thought I couldn't get into the base where she was.
Oh.
But yeah.
So it just didn't open in time for you to deem it as locked?
I went up right next to it and it didn't open. And I looked around for like half an hour for another entrance in there. And then I found out that I just had to be like really close to the door.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, I didn't really have a problem finding any of these guys. So, yeah, I could see that happening, though.
Yeah, we find Jonathan, then Angela, then Mona, and they each have their own like power trick that they do as you're fighting them. And then we go into an arena and fight all 3 with all 3 powers. The Brotron.
The Brotron. Yeah, they just climb up on top of each other. They don't have any legs. They're just arms. And they climb up on top of each other, and they call themselves Brotron. And this fight
was
was
a fun
pretty
boss
tough
battle
for me.
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of things happening all the time, and the jetpack is definitely necessary in this. I mean, I think that's why you got it right before this boss fight, because holy shit, it's just they're just throwing all kinds of acid at you, and the floor is lava pretty much the entire time. And yeah,
this is a fun boss battle though. It's you do 3 waves with them. You have to kill each bro, and then you finally kill the last one, and then you have to get what's it called? Your like proof of death from each one.
Yep.
Before Gargantuous finally comes on the TV that was in there, and he says he's gonna torture our family, which we'll come back to later once we meet him.
Well, he didn't exactly. To be okay, I don't think he exactly said our family. He's just said 2 people you really care about.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, what Kenny deducted from that, he's like, oh, he must have your parents. And then
okay.
I guess to be fair, he didn't exactly say he had your parents. He just said 2 people you care deeply about.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll get to that later.
Joke that comes back later. It's a good one. We go back home and we solve yet another argument between Lizzie and Jean. Lizzie brought her boyfriend Tweeg in home to meet us, and she wants him to move in, so they're arguing about that.
It's like, what is happening while we're out there, you know?
Fucking Tweeg.
Yeah, Tweeg. I honestly thought he was Daniel Tosh. It sounded just like him.
We after we solve this argument, we can go find our next boss battle again, which looks like for both of us was Dr. Giblets next.
Yep.
Or Giblets.
Yeah.
Giblets. Yeah, this is the one where we have to do some investigating to find his location, because he lives off the grid. I, at this point, took a 2-hour break to watch the movie Demon Wind in the Warp Drive movie theater.
Oh my god.
It actually wasn't terrible. It's pretty cheesy. It's kind of funny. So as we were talking about before, there's the warp crystals that you find. You can buy warp discs with them. And they're like just little vignettes that you get to experience. And one was just a literal movie theater. And it's got the guys from Red Letter Media doing like a Mystery Science 3000. They're just talking over the movie the whole time. But it's a whole movie.
It's a whole movie.
And then I also did QD Town after this, and crushed the entire little city. Did you do this one?
I didn't do it, but I seen a video on it. That one's pretty funny. Welcome to QD Town.
Find this little city, and that you spawn in, and you try to like look around the city, and you start crushing things, and you have to crush everything. And the little guy that's flying around is very sad and wants to kill himself.
He's just freaking out the whole time, like stomping his city to the ground. Yeah, good stuff.
It's a good one. Yeah, for Dr. Giblets, we have to interrogate some citizens to find out his whereabouts.
Oh, yeah, this is the first instance of the detective thing. So Pseudo puts on his detective hat, and you got to go around and ask where. But I mean, it's because Gene doesn't know where he is, so you got to ask around to find out.
Yep.
You interrogate people, and you get scored on how much info you get. So most of the scores you get are pretty bad because you end up not getting any info at all. But some of the citizens are actually pretty hostile. I think somebody told me to fuck off.
Yeah, you could start yelling at him like, where is he hiding?
Yeah. And, one of them, I think his name was Bloro or something. He tells you...
The shop owner?
The shop owner.
Yep.
He tells you to go check out the place called High on Life.
Yep, this is where we get those warp drives from that we can buy. Those extra ones.
Yeah, I knew that. I just never actually came back to him to buy those warp drives. But yeah, it's one of those things that's like you could do it if you want to, but I mean, it's just extra.
Yeah, just more jokes.
Yeah. So he tells you to go find a place called High on Life, and when you go down in the slums towards Cruz down there, they joined the G3 since you last seen them, so they're hostile now. I think since I didn't kill her, she said that the I'm in good with the Torgs, so like
Oh,
since I saved her and spared her, not murdered her, uh, she's like, "Oh yeah, we're all right." I'll tell my guys to stop killing you or stop trying to kill you or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's
it's good
cool.
decisions coming back to help you.
Yeah, but it ended up not mattering anyways because the Torgs crew joined the G3. So and
Oh,
then
wonderful.
and then you get through it and then you find a space Applebee's. It looks just like an Applebee's. It's just space Applebee's. Thought
Yeah,
I'd
on your
point
way over
that
to
out.
the High on Life
Yeah.
store, we will definitely be coming back to Space Applebee's.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I really like
yeah,
this
when
High
you
on Life store.
yeah,
You like outside it, find these mag boots. It's just another ability to help traverse the terrain a little bit more. She's like, yeah, he died. You can have his boots.
yeah. I don't know how he died though. How did he die?
I can't remember if he just like fell off the magnet thing or
Oh
something.
no. He got trampled because it was like some Black Friday shit for people trying to get
Oh,
into High on Life.
yeah,
He
the
got
the new High on
trampled.
Life opening.
Yeah.
Because this is where they're selling
So
the new bong that can smoke humans.
yeah. Yeah, so he got trampled to death, so you get to take his boots.
That's unfortunate. I like
Yeah.
this store. It's very
Chic.
realistic. Yeah, that too. Like you're talking to these people and they're legit like customer service people and trying to help you, and they keep trying to sell you on this new bong that can smoke humans as they're talking to a human. Yeah, and you're like questioning everyone in there about where Doctor Giblets is, and they're just giving you the runaround.
Yeah, so after asking around a little bit, you find these two investigators that are standing at the front door, and then what they like, how they were talking seemed really threatening. So I honestly thought they were like in with the G3, and I thought they were like
Yeah, I think it's meant to appear
telling me
that
to.
way.
Yeah, they were like trying to appear that they were trying to tell me to stop investigating or whatever. Well, they just sounded really threatening. I wish I had some quotes on what they said, but yeah, it was weird. So yeah, so you have the mad boots, you get your new traversal tool, and yeah, when you get back home, those same two investigators are there. And it turns out they're with Mr. Clugs and have information where Dr. Giblets is. And
Yeah,
so
easy
like
peasy.
yeah, they ended up apologizing, saying that they always come off as intimidating. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense because I really felt intimidated. Yeah, so they invite you to meet with Mr. Clugs.
Yes, yeah. Once we meet with Mr. Klug, he I think he's really sleek about like passing us the information because I think he's trying not to like look like he's helping us or something.
Yeah,
Either way, he gives us Doctor Giblet's location, and we go back to Zephyr to to go to the doctor's base. And once we do some more investigation in his base itself, we like lead ourselves to his like main office door. This is probably the hardest boss in the game, just forewarning.
yeah, it's definitely the hardest boss, and like you could tell, like he was like as you're going in, you like he went insane. He's just like he has like words scratched all
Yeah.
over the walls and shit, like he was onto something. And then yeah, what you finally find Mr. Giblets?
So yeah, we were doing some investigating to get up to Dr. Giblets' lab, and then we see all this evidence that he's going absolutely insane, and we make our way up to his office using our investigation skills with Detective O. And as soon as we enter into Dr. Giblets' office, we appear to catch him off guard because he slips off the box that he was standing on and fucking dies.
Yeah, he breaks his helmet, his glass helmet, and then he just suffocates to death. And
There's
then
like a little fish thing or
his
whatever.
boss health bar goes all the way down, and then it's you get a little achievement that says world's hardest boss fight or something.
Yeah, this is funny. I like this. They
they compensate for this because as soon as that happens, you fall into an arena where there's a shit ton of waves of enemies, which proved to be a little difficult for me. I actually died a few times at this part. I don't know how it was for you. I mean, you were playing on story difficulty, so I assume it wasn't too bad for you.
Yeah, this is probably this is probably the hardest one, actually. Just because of the sheer amount of just wave combat over and over in here.
Yeah.
Along with having to use all of your powers constantly.
Yeah, it was really difficult. I guess before we got to this fight, we got introduces a new archetype of enemies where they have like armor, and you have to like break off. Well, I guess they all have armor, so to speak, but they don't have the goop armor. They have the like actual metal armor, and they come off in pieces. And one thing I found out to be easy with them is using Gus with his buzzsaw. If they bounce between each other, it takes them out pretty quick.
Okay.
But even then, like, I beat this with the skin of my teeth because I was having a lot of difficulty with this. There's a lot of traversal tools, and the map gets kind of smaller and smaller because the poisonous gas starts flowing in, and you have to
start going
jump
upwards
onto the platforms and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty difficult, but it was just waves of enemies.
Yeah, and after each set of enemies, Dr. Giblets is like, I know who killed me now. Because there's a hologram, Dr. Giblets, saying, hey, if you're here, you must be the one that killed me. He's like going through a list as we're killing through all the enemies, and he's guessing like the other bosses. And then he gets to the end after guessing like 3 people. He's like, I know who killed me. It was myself. He's like, sorry, you must be innocent. You can go.
Yeah. So all that just to come to the conclusion that he killed himself. He was the only one powerful enough to do so. And yeah, it's just funny.
It's silly.
Yeah. So
we find Let's Do It here.
Yeah, he's all messed up and you can't talk, and so you got to bring him back to Gene to have him get fixed.
Let's do it.
When you get back to your house, you find out that your sister is missing, gone away with Tweed. Gene is all freaked out about that, so you got to found out that Tweed works at Space Applebee's. So you go to Space Applebee's you set off to go to Space Applebee's in the slums to find out his whereabouts.
Before we left out to Space Applebee's, Kenny wants a private chat with us. So we leave all the Gatlians with Gene, and we're looking for Lizzie with just Kenny.
Yep.
So as we get to Space Applebee's here, he's like, well, this might be a good place to chat. Let's just, since Tweeg's not here at work right now, let's just get some food and sit down.
Yeah. And you actually have some choices on what you get to get, like appetizers and entrees and shit. You ended up not eating it all.
I was so excited about this. I was like, oh my god, are they going to give me a fucking menu and let me pick? I was getting so excited. I still got to pick like food I think I would have liked anyways. Like the margarita looked really good. Actually, it's good advertising because I'm like, I really want to go to Applebee's now.
Right?
And I was so sad they didn't like let me eat any of the food. It just sat there.
Yeah. I think I got like spinach artichoke dip and
Yes,
like
stuff is so good.
it is so good. Yeah, and then I think I got like I don't know.
Like
I don't
I got
remember what I
like
got.
boneless wings, I think.
Boneless wings. Maybe I got like
Yep.
ribs or something. But all around, I know I picked some good food. But yeah, they just sat there and got cold, and we didn't eat them. I was sad.
Yep. Yeah. Kenny takes this opportunity to open up about something that's been on his chest. He was responsible. Well, not really. I mean, he thinks he's responsible for the downfall of his home planet, of where the Gatlians came from.
Yeah,
So he kind of talks to us about that.
yeah. I feel like this whole part was made a bigger deal than it was. Like, since he explained it to me, I understood what he was talking about, but I could see how he left out a lot of information when he told the other Gatlians about it. And
Yeah, he didn't tell
that
the
whole
full
part
story
was
like he
just
told us.
yeah, exactly. So that whole part was just kind of fucked up for me. I didn't really jive with it.
Yeah, it's just manufactured drama for the final act there.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like the climax or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of just like you said, it was manufactured.
Yeah,
But yeah, I didn't really care too much about what happened.
I didn't either. I was focused on that food. I was like, I don't give a fuck what
Right.
you're talking about, Kenny. I'm looking at this awesome food.
You were probably playing while you were hungry too. It probably made it worse.
Yeah, it was. So we see Tweeg, or we get up and make sure you pay your bill. You actually can leave without paying your bill. You gotta make sure you pay for it. Be a good person.
Yeah.
You see Tweeg and Lizzie, our sister, arguing outside, and they like get in a ship and fly off.
Yeah, it's like a space RV.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they got
And,
like kidnapped by the G3 at first. Maybe that's what's supposed to seem like.
No, they were arguing and then they just hopped in an RV and left. That's even how I perceived it. I don't know. I didn't see any objection going on.
Okay. I think I was looking away for a little bit.
Maybe.
Just like I looked up and they were like flying away. I'm like, oh shit.
No, they just hopped in and left. Because Lizzie was like pulling at him, saying she wants to run away with him or whatever.
Yep.
And so they just ran away and left together, start their new life. And Gene gives us a call saying that the G3 are invading our house. So we have to run back to our house and have to warp out of there because all the G3 are shooting us up.
Yeah, so we, due to Kenny's thinking, we get warped back to Gatlius, which is the home planet of the Gatlians, the guns.
Yep.
Gene gives us a teleporter to go to the space RV, and I personally seen Tweeg and Lizzie break up. I don't know if that was different for you.
No, yeah, they did the same for me. I did see a video though that if you did side with Jean throughout their arguments or whatever, she actually kills Tweeg.
Oh, jeez.
Go there and like she's dead and she's like covered in blood and stuff. She's like, all right, yeah, I'm kind of over all this. Let's go home. It's like,
oh my god,
yeah,
the dark ending.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, they were basically just arguing and stuff like that. They there was a joke that Tweeg made that kind of stuck with me. He's like, yeah, of course we love each other. If we hate each other, you'd be playing like a fucking Rockstar game, you fucking asshole. That was funny. But yeah, they argue, they broke up, and then Lizzie comes back with you back to your house.
Indeed, where Kenny then confesses his sins.
Yeah, he wants to confess to the other guns, saying that he was responsible, and then they all get pissed off at him.
Understandably,
but
given how he explained it.
yeah, given how he explained it, yeah. But it was one of those things where he just didn't. I think his guilt maybe just prevented him from just, kind of, what am I thinking of, diverting any of the blame other from himself. So he's just going to take all the blame. But
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense in that aspect. But
Yep. But we have bounties to kill, so the Gatlians have to get over it for now, because we have to go kill Nipulon.
yep, which is honestly my favorite boss fight of the game.
He's very fun.
It was a lot of fun. So in order to get to Nebulon, you have to
go back to Old Town, and we gotta go get gooped up again.
Yep. And but the guy's goop monster is sick, so you have to go get a flower to get him better. But the only way to get to it is through the Mac and Cheese brothers, who have to build a bridge for you. And
yes.
The only way they will do it is if you get their dad to say that they love, or that he loves them.
I love this part.
So, yeah, I went over and talked to him, and he basically told me to fuck off. So I went back and told them that, yeah, your dad loves you. And then they built a bridge of rainbow happiness.
Of rainbow love.
Yeah.
So they're in a saloon, which is where the dad was, or not them. That's where the dad is. So I went to the saloon. He told me to fuck off and started swearing at me. I was like, okay, this isn't working. So I shot the dad. And then everyone in the bar proceeded to attack me. So I killed every single last person in that saloon, even the bartender who was cowering behind the bar.
Oh my god.
I am a psychopath a bit.
You killed everybody, huh?
Everybody
god
in that room.
That's crazy.
And then I just went back to the Mac and Cheese brothers and I lied to them and said their dad loves them.
Yeah, your dad loves you. You got the same outcome anyways. Jesus.
Yep.
You can just go through this game being a complete psychopath and you'll just get away with it. It's great.
So yeah, they built this rainbow bridge of love. They were just so overwhelmed with love from their dad. They like the rainbow came out of their bodies.
Yeah.
Which neat. So we got the flower and we could head back to the goop guy to get some goop.
Get gooped up.
Get all
and then
gooped up.
Once you get gooped up, you're able to get into the building where Nipulon is. We have to like fight your way up through the whole building to get to his office. That part was pretty fun. There's a lot of traversal stuff going on and just some enemies here and there. So this was all right. Yeah, but I mean, well, actually, okay, hold on. Rewind. Once you get there, there's a bunch of aliens smoking humans. They look like they look like gargantuans. What's his name? Gargantulon.
Gargantuous.
It's Gargantulon. Whatever his name is, big guy. A bunch of his species. They're all smoking humans. And
you have these weird fucking titty nipple things that you put a human in.
Yeah,
and they like suck the soul out of them to smoke them.
It's just gross. And yeah, so you have this waiter guy leading you through it, and then he puts you in this room with another guy that's smoking a human, and he's talking about smoking babies or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, they're the best, and yeah, he's just insulting humans. And
did you how long did it take for you to shoot him? Probably not that long, right? You've been killing everybody.
I was actually trying to hold off. I was hoping that I'd be able to not kill him, and there'd be like a secret thing. But your screen just gets increasingly just more and more red and like shaky, and it just stayed at that for a while. So I was like, okay, I think I have to kill him. Because it wouldn't let me turn away to like walk away from the guy.
Oh, okay.
I tried though.
Oh, you just tried to do the opposite of whatever you're supposed to do in this game. It seems like.
So We have to kill him, I guess.
Yeah, right. You have to kill him. So I was like, I like the screen started turning red and shit, and I started getting pissed off because he's talking about smoking kids, and then I just shot him, killed him, and then it turned. Then one thing I did notice is that all the other aliens that were out there before, the big guys, were just gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was hoping I'd get to like go through and pop them all.
Yeah, I was hoping so too, but no, they were gone. And then
that's why there's so much of that sticky stuff in the hallway. I think that's their trail.
Oh, so they just all dipped out as soon as you killed that one guy. But yeah, a bunch of G3 come out, and then that's when you start climbing up the tower to get to Nipulon's office.
Yeah, fun climb. And then we run into our favorite person for a third time.
Helen.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Killing all her bosses. Like, when is she needs to find another profession. It's like secretary work for cartels is not really working for her.
It's not her thing. It's not stable work, Helen.
It's just not stable work, no. We're just going to kill your boss again.
Yeah, so she's a little pissed at us for killing her last two bosses, but she's like, okay, wait in the lobby until Nipulon's ready. I don't know if there's a way to be impatient and like burst into his office or anything. I just sat on the couch and waited.
Yeah, me too. I just waited. It was a nice little wait. I was scrolling on my phone for a little bit, and then he was ready, and then I went in. It's just it was like an absurd realism there.
Yeah, knowing this game, I'm sure there was a way to like enter his office early or something.
Yeah, maybe catch
only a couple minute wait.
I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
So Nipulon is the cliche drug trip boss that we fight, but it was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
It was really fun. So
weird,
like
introspective thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Introspective. You go through this whole introspective thing. It was like, you get to, I think the guns get to like each other or whatever through this.
Yeah, they're all talking about their trauma. They still don't like Kenny after, but like we learn all their stories more.
Yeah, they're finding new things out about each other, and a lot of things pop up from your past. There's this part where you're going through it, and like it's like an endless perspective thing. I don't know what. There's a name for it. I don't.
It's really
know
weird because like
called,
you see something like you think's off in the distance, you get close, like it's super big, and the stuff you were just at was like small. No matter where you go in the room, even though it looks like it's only a few steps away from you, it like looks big when you get to it, and the stuff behind you just looks puny, like on the ground. It's just very weird.
Yeah, there is a name for that type of optical illusion. For the life of me, I can't really think of what it is, but like I've seen it before somewhere. But yeah, it's really cool. There's a bit of that, and then after all that, you go through like 4 different scenarios of that.
Yeah, the Gatlians make up a bit.
Yeah, trying to retrieve them all and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, and then you're like doing waves of shooting Nipulon, like you're back in the real world a little bit before you get sent into another drug trip.
Yeah, and then the next
not to the real world. You're like falling in that like Squidward bottomless pit, and you like shoot him in there.
Oh yeah,
that weird trippy pit.
Like those you have to find which one is the real him. You have to shoot that one. Yeah, that one was a bit tough because you couldn't avoid any of his shots, and I actually died quite a bit trying to figure out which one was him before I actually got it, because there's no way to dodge. It's like, come on now.
They kind of called out the meta, at least for me though. I think it was Kenny that made one of the comments. I noticed that one of them had a slightly different shade or something, so you could tell which one was the original. And Kenny made a comment, and he was like, I wonder if like one of them is a different color.
Yeah, it's exactly that. He's like orange or something.
Yeah.
You got to shoot that one. And I only figured this out after my 3rd time dying. So At this point, I was pretty frustrated, and I was like ready to be done with that part. It's like, yeah, it was pretty annoying. The fact that I couldn't dodge any of his shots. He's constantly shooting at me, and I couldn't kill him
Gotta
in
be
time.
quick on that trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, after I got it down, after I got the meta down, a lot slower than you did. But after I got him down pretty quick. So.
Yeah, and after we kill Nipulon here, we're back to the real world.
Actually, before that, do you remember where he gave you that achievement for being in the strip club for 24 hours? And he's like, all your friends are going to make fun of you.
I actually, it was funny because you played the game before I did. I was looking at your achievements list and in like the recent achievements thing, and I seen that popped up. It's like spent 15 hours in a real alien strip club. And so I texted you about it before I even played the game. I was like, hey, you want to explain this one?
It's like, hey man, I didn't say anything about it. I'm like, hey man, alien strip clubs are fun.
Yes, I get now though. Nipulon made a lot of really good comments of like referencing back to like Metal Gear and stuff, to other games where they like found ways to trick you. He's like, oh, if you actually had like a controller port, I would tell you have to switch it to be able to kill me, or I would pretend like I'm resetting your console. Yeah, I can't really do that. Like other tricks that other games have done, and good references.
Yeah, that was his last resort, was giving you that achievement after trying all that stuff.
Yeah, so we get Let's Do It, or we go back to our home after killing Nipulon here, and Let's Do It is now fully functional. Well, sort of. He shoots. He's he's maybe not functional in the brain. Yeah, all he can say is his own name.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we have to say our goodbyes now to Gene and Lizzie, and it's sad,
but
not really.
Take down Gargantulon, the final boss, and we pick up Let's Do It, make our goodbyes, and we head out.
We warp the whole house back to Earth.
Yeah.
And we get to kill a fuck ton of guys with Let's Do It.
Let's Do It is great. He just destroys everything. And it's great because every time he's ready, he's just like, let's do it. And then you just pull him out, just destroy everything on the map, and then just continue on.
Yeah,
this
vaporizes everything.
Yeah, which made the whole level pretty simple. I mean, it was a short level, but yeah, having him like that was pretty nice.
Yeah, and we go through this one tunnel, like to get to the final boss arena here. And I kind of wish they did more of this maybe through the game. To get out of this tunnel, you have to use each and every weapon, like their special power. Like Ken uses shooting glob shot that like knocks down barriers and stuff, and you have to use every single weapon's power to be able to get out of this room. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was a neat little last usage of all the weapons.
Yeah, and we get to Garmantuous.
Pretty sure we gave him a different name every time we mentioned it. But it's actually Gargantulon. Yeah, the dude.
Are you sure?
It's Gargantulon.
I wrote his name like 3 different ways in my notes here. I have Gargantuous, Garmantuous, and it's
Gargantumon. Digimon.
Either way, we get to G, the original G. He's a big goober. What would you even call him? Like a big gloop pile? Like
kind of like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah,
he was not that bad of a battle, I don't think. Since we had Let's Do It, I kind of just kept pushing left, and all of his shots would miss, and so I just kept shooting with Let's Do It until he was done.
That's exactly what I did too. I mean, it was arguably the easiest boss battle in the game.
Yeah, it wasn't even close to hitting me. And it seemed like anytime the bullets did contact me, it didn't like hurt me.
Yeah, they didn't hurt that much, but that was also probably because of your difficulty too. But yeah, I mean, well, I guess they didn't hurt that much, but you mean a few shots and you're dead.
Yep.
But
yeah, his first health bar here is just not bad at all. And then he's lying on the ground, and we have to stick the bomb that Gene gave us to kill G up his asshole. Straight up his asshole. We have to stick our hand all the way up in there.
Yeah, so there's a bomb that we were supposed to put in there. We did it the first time, and then second time it didn't go off, so it has to be set manually. And you have to, Kenny volunteers to go in there and put it in and detonate the bomb.
You're forgetting the best part
So
here,
there's
though.
like a little, I know, but there's a,
sorry, go ahead.
There's a little thing that each of the weapons say. Most of them are like, Kenny already volunteered to do it. Have him go in there. It's like, no, not me. They're all like, have this all self-preservation. And then you switch to let's do it. And he's like, let's do it. So like naturally you have to put let's do it in there because he was the most, he volunteered to do it pretty much. So
pretty much
I stuck let's do it in there to detonate it, and the bomb goes off and blows him up.
Yeah. After that, the first health bar, though, when the bomb fails to blow up, G kicks us back and locks us in like this bubble. And that's when he brings up two favorite people. Yeah. It's Jack Black and Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. And then he thought they were, they didn't even know why they were there.
Yeah.
And he thought that they were
quickest
our parents.
Cameo ever. Yeah, he's like,
and
once we admit that these aren't our parents and we actually don't even know these people, he's like, but everyone I asked about these two people said they were great. He's like, okay, then he liquefies them, and then that's how we got into the phase 2 of the boss battle.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that part.
No, you're good.
That's so good.
I also stuck Let's Do It up. Squeezy and Gus both complained when I switched to them. Creature was super excited at first, and he was like, oh wait, no, you don't mean to stick me up there, do you? Yeah, and then of course Let's Do It was
panicking. He's like, no, not me.
Let's Do It was excited to go in there, so
yeah, I mean, he obviously volunteered. He's like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And then Kenny's
we
like,
did it.
No, don't put let's do it in there. That's cruel. And he's like, let's do it. I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm putting him in there.
Yep.
And he blows up, and then, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't actually die. He's just charred.
He didn't actually die. Yeah, and then you pick him up, and he's like, we did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the end of the game.
That's the end of the game.
I was doing
some high on life.
I was doing some wrap up after this, and like exploring Easter eggs, achievements, and stuff like that. I went to Klug's office, and it was all like dark and stuff, and all the lights were off. So I grabbed like a key card off his desk or something. That key card lets you in to a special office in the Human Haven, and you go through that office, and it turns out Dr. Klug, or just Klug, was working for Dr. Gurgula the whole time. He's kind of like referenced throughout the game as like the one who discovered was it how to do warp drives or something like that?
Yeah.
And Dr. Gurgula is like sequel baiting a bit, and he kills Klug and warps away. He was Gurgula was taking humans from the Human Haven that Klug put there, and he was experimenting on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. How was
Yeah.
it? How was it? Sequel baiting? Do you remember what he said?
I think he literally said the words like Kenny said that sequel bait or something like that.
Oh, okay, nice.
He's I'm not gonna fight you now, but maybe you'll like come find me or something because it's not over. Still
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
like do my research and kill humans. I recommend watching like a video on it or something, or going to find it. It's
yeah, I probably
interesting.
will.
Just a little sequel bait, giving them a way to do some more if they would like.
Yeah, if it ever comes to that, their CEO is on trial right now, so who knows? Yeah,
we're not
overall,
gonna get
I
Kenny.
like the game. Yeah, overall, I like the game. It was, like I said before, it was a really long comedy show, and it was lots of laughs. And yeah,
Indeed, definitely. I spent countless hours just in front of like the little TVs throughout the game, just watching all these little TV shows and little comics. Though you can never trust Royland with any countdowns, of course, as I learned both from the waiting an hour for Douglas, and then there's one show that comes on sometimes called the Countdown Show. I do recommend watching it if you get the chance. It's like 20 minutes long.
okay.
And it's just
Oh.
like, hey, I'm going to count down from 100 or something. I can't remember what he starts off at. And yeah, I think it's at 100. And he's like, once I get to 0, you get a prize. And it's just a voice actor fucking around for like 20 minutes. I don't think it's Royland, but it's one of their crew there. And he keeps like stuttering over numbers and like he's like, wait, what was I on? And he'll like go back a couple. He just keeps fucking with you throughout the whole countdown. It takes so long. But it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, those little tidbits throughout the game are definitely little gems to look out for as you're playing it.
Yep. Definitely recommend going through all the warp drives. There's a couple of meh ones there. There was one that's the trolley dilemma, where it's like there's 5 people on one track. Where are you going to move it just to kill the other one?
Yeah.
It's literally just that. There's 5 people on one and one person on the other. And you have like 2 minutes before the trolley gets there. It's just slowly coming. And then you can switch the track and you get to hear the person swearing the hell out of you for switching it onto their lane before they get smushed.
That's
and they
funny.
die. It's very dark, but it's also like, it's interesting. I've never seen like a philosophical problem like actually portrayed in a game like that.
Or, made into a comic.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I don't think there was any other big ones that I can recall of the what do you call the fucking
Warp
thingy
drive.
things? Yeah, those.
Yeah.
There was another little Easter egg, small character thing. You can find Stan. He's the brother of the Goop guy, and he sells gallons and gallons of alien cum.
I swear these guys are just like, he has another one, right? There's a third one.
Yeah, there's a third brother. I can't remember what he sells, but they all sell a certain liquid.
Yeah, they're all just like creepy salesmen, and they just sell weird shit. I don't know how they got into that business, but yeah, pretty interesting little tidbits.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff around this game. For
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, one of the warp drives, it was part of the story quest that I found, was the one where you just warp in a highway of like really bad traffic, and everybody has a New York accent. They're yelling at each other like, "Hey, fuck you! I'm trying to get somewhere. We have places to be."
You come back later and they create like a tribe.
Yeah, they worship the highway god or some shit. It's yeah.
Oh,
pretty good.
Yeah, the other two I forgot. There's a skate park, it was okay. You just got to like ride around on rails and stuff and try and get a high score. There's one that was gross. It's a giant toilet, and you do another one of those pipe games. And there's a guy at the bottom of the toilet that just wanted to eat all the shit. So he's really happy once you get the toilet pipes working, because the guy at the top gets the shit, and the one on the bottom gets brown liquid all over.
Oh, gross. Oh man.
But yeah, that's High on Life for you. It's an interesting game if you like comedies, if you like single player stories. Definitely if you like Rick and Morty and that type of humor. This is up your lane. It's good. And it's also just a fun shooter.
Yeah, you'll have a good time. Even if you played Doom before, you'll be familiar with it. If you haven't, you'll still get the hang of it. You know, I feel like if you're just a fan of first-person shooters, you'll enjoy it anyways. Yeah.
Very good game. Very easy. It's in Game Pass. Yeah, I got some stuff for the fans. We would like to hear your comments. If you would like to reach out to us at hazardousopinionspod@gmail.com or at hazardousopinionspod on Instagram. DM us, follow us, shoot us an email. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think of High on Life? What do you think of the court system? What do you think of our podcast? Give us a rating. Shoot us some stars, however many you would like, and then shoot us a message. Tell us why you feel that way. And tell us how we can improve. Yeah, for sure.
Give us your honest critiques. We'd appreciate it.
Of course. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. I haven't been playing much else lately. I've been pretty busy at work. Have you been doing much other gaming?
Yeah, I recently finished the Resident Evil 2 remake. That is a really good game. I'd highly recommend it for anybody who's a horror fan. It'll definitely stress you out just enough to get the blood pumping, but also just a really good Resident Evil game. Before this, I played Resident Evil 7 and felt right at home. I haven't played any of like the original ones, but I'm just now like starting to get into the story and stuff, and it seems pretty intriguing. But yeah, it's a really good game.
Yeah, I look forward to next month, February's game, where we're going to be playing Call of Cthulhu, the 2017 edition by Frogwares, not the Dark Corners of the Earth.
Yeah,
looking forward to that one.
Speaking of horror games, there's another one. Stay tuned for that.
That's all I got.
That's me too. Hope you guys have a good week. See ya.
I'm proud of you. In fact, I'm attracted to you. You deserve all the good things you want, and you supported a local business. That's just fantastic. It helps the economy out here in Zappa Paradise. You're helping this shop that's set up somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.